going on, everybody? It's your buddy, it's your pal Spaz Phoenix, the YWC Reality Check. A little bit of something extra for you this long weekend if you're in Canada, and that is Jake fucking DeMarco. What's going on, buddy?
Oh, baby. I am excited as hell to be here on the weekend. That's right. Ready to go, dressed up and snazzy for you, baby.
Nice. So, first of all, do you guys even have a long weekend this weekend?
I know, but
Oh,
we have Memorial Day, I think it is. Yeah, Labor Day is September. So Memorial Day is coming up at the end of the month. But
oh, very nice. This is like Canadian Thanksgiving, American Thanksgiving, and I'm not even going to get into that. But what are we doing today? Let's be fully blunt and honest about it. I'm stealing an idea from Simon Miller. If you're going to steal from somebody awesome. We're going to take a look at all the titles in WWE, who the champions are, and who we think the next champions should be. Very, very simple, very cut and paste, a little bit of content. Very easy for me to put together, quite honestly. Going to start off really quick with all the stuff that we are not including in this. We're not touching the AAA titles. We're not touching the Speed titles. We're not touching the Heritage Cup. We're not touching King or Queen of the Ring. We're not touching Money in the Bank, the Royal Rumble, the Crown Jewel titles, or Evolve. And even without all of those, we've still got 16 titles to talk about. So, just as a general thought process, some of these, I said it to you before we came on the air, I wanted to have, here's the champion, here's who I think the next champion is going to be. A lot of these are, it's going to be this person or this person, and in some cases, it's going to be this person, or this person. I don't even know how you've built your list because I didn't ask you in advance intentionally. But in
yes,
general,
but
just a fun thought process for us for a weekend, for an extra weekend pod.
absolutely. And I have the roster in front of me, so we'll see what ends up
Ah,
happening. But
so you're making picks on the fly.
pretty much,
Fantastic.
I,
All right.
I like a little flying by the seat of my pants, and we'll see what comes of it. But maybe I'll
It'll give
look
us a
like an
chance to talk,
idiot.
and I didn't think about it from this point of view. It'll give us a chance to talk a little bit about who our current champions are and where they sit and whatnot as well. But majorly, or whatever the word is, this is meant to be a looking forward podcast, but you can't look forward until you look at where you are. So we're gonna start with our baby. We're gonna start with NXT. We're gonna start with the tag titles because I've basically got this for every brand. I've got tag, mid card, women's, men's. That's just how we're gonna go. We end on the men's because that's they usually main event, unless your name is Gina Carano or Ronda Rousey. But we're not going there. 17 seconds, it's fine. Daniel Bryan would be proud.
Indeed.
NXT current tag team champions. Swipe right of the Vanity Project. What do we think of these guys?
I
And where do we think we're going?
I enjoy them. I like their China, you know. Mika's great. Lockwood there. I
Yeah.
really love the way that she sells being gigantic, and she knows her role. She plays it very well as the enforcer. So since they've added her to the group, I really enjoy the dynamic even more. But these hot-headed male bimbos are a great fun heel faction at this time. There's so many serious and, you gotta have the bloodline and Judgment Day, and it's like, "All right, what do we have now? What can we," and instead, they're just trying to make it fun. So,
They're Miz's for the tag division. Their job is to go out there and make you want to see them get punched in the face.
yes.
And they're doing very well at that. I've seen a lot of people when they added Mika Lockwood to the mix, because they changed her name from something else initially. The amount of people that have said, "Well, seeing where she is currently, how come they just didn't name her Peg?" I'm like, "That's a bit on the
Ah,
nose. That's a bit rough." Um,
yikes.
Now I went 2 different directions with this, as I have with most. A general theme that I have with this over all the tag team divisions is I wanna get the tag titles away from factions and back on tag teams,
Yes.
because what happens, and we've seen it from the Bloodline to the Wyatt Six to the MFTs all the way down, even if you look back in like DX and whatever, if you put it on a tag team, then you can talk about the tag team division. If you put it on 2 members of a faction, even though it's mostly, "Hey, here's a tag team and they have 1 extra buddy," it becomes the faction's story of like, "Look at we picked up 1 more, honor," or whatever. And
Yeah.
that can be a good thing. That can, if you wanna do like an undisputed era, like the Prospect of Gold thing that they did where everybody had a belt, that can be an individual story, and it can come back as an individual story. I think across all brands, across all shows, whether it's WWE, AEW, TNA, etc., I think it's been used way too much. So I've kind of tried to steer away from that with my tag team choices. Now, on the other side of the coin, that means I've thrown some teams together, but we will get there when we get there. I've got two choices here. One are a set of former tag team champions just because they're fun, just because you want to have people thinking fondly and thinking, oh, hell yeah, it's so and so when you got these titles because you want to bring the titles back up to prestige, is throwing them back onto Hank and Tank. My other thing, and it's not necessarily a pick that I'm necessarily going with, but it seems to be where the heavy, heavy, heavy push is right now, is OTM.
Yes. And as far as teams in NXT right now, you've got the Birthright, you've got the Culling,
Mhm.
Dark State, and that's kind of it. They've got some
Yeah.
factions. We got mentioned OTM,
Yep.
but there's not as much as there used to be. So I loved
OTM have
when
sort of pushed away from being a faction. They came in with Scripps, and then they had Jada Parker for a while. Scripps is gone. Jada Parker is doing her own thing and kicking ass. We'll talk about her later. But the fact that they've pulled back from being a faction to just like, hey, we're back and we're they're putting some push behind them for sure.
yes. And
They got these, backstage, the vignettes, the interviews, we're definitely leaning into, like, the Fast and the Furious, like, family barbecue vibes and whatever. They're not bad in the ring. I just don't care about them as much as WWE wants me to care about them, and because of that, like, the overpush is doing the opposite. Whereas Hank and Tank, it's not gonna set the world on fire, but the crowd can have some fun, and, like, they can sort of be a holding pattern maybe for OTM later on down the line if they find a balance for OTM.
all right.
Anything coming out of your hat on the top of
Oh,
your head for
absolutely. Yes. So hear me out. This is probably going to sound a little ridiculous, but
okay.
you know me, you know what I like at times. I'm not always crazy about all, meaty men slapping meat matches,
Yes.
but I'm really enamored by Keanu Carver. The wars he's had with Jasper Troy, the back and forth, they kind of shitified Jasper Troy a little bit. He
Okay.
comes out, he's a big deal, and then Carver's kind of like just showing him up and eating his lunch. So it's
Mm,
unfortunate that that's been the case. But
yes.
overall, if you got a way to make these two be forced together, even, or, the can they coexist and then they're just driven by pure success and they get the titles, who stops them?
That's
Like
fantastic.
it's a long-term story. It gets them a ton of TV time because Carver needs ring time, so does Troy, but like and they both desperately need mic time. Carver's much more believable in a backstage setting, but when he takes the mic, he sounds I don't want to say nervous because it's not nervous, but it is apprehensive. It
He
comes
doesn't wanna talk
across
like, the whole thing of, like, "Why do you keep sending people to interview me? I'm not here to fucking talk. I'm here to make money. Let's talk about it," type thing.
yes.
Like, the way they've done the interviews with there's a new girl that they have in the back, and I'm saying girl, which is really disrespectful, but whatever. Um, I can't think of her name right now,
Oh my
but
god, I've been obsessed with
you've been
her
racking
and
your
now
brain
I
for yeah.
yes.
But I think that the way that she's doing, like, reporter on the street type of interviews with her NXT in general, going out into other places to do stuff again is key. The barbecue thing, even though, like I say, OTM doesn't exactly hit the mark with me just yet, they're still awesome to see in the ring, very, very fun to see, when they get going and they start trucking people. But, um her and Keanu Carver trying to have like this heart to heart of like, you can't do it too often, but her whole thing of like, look, this is my first interview. I'm trying to get my foot in the door here. Can you give me something? Was a neat little thing that they were doing for Keanu where, he's got some stuff that's weighing him down. My family's depending on me. I need to make money. And if this doesn't, he even said, like, if the wrestling thing doesn't work for me, I'm going to have to try and find something else.
Yeah.
Um, Him and Jasper Troy would work as a tweener team because you could see them going after the Vanity Project because, like, what the fuck are you? But also, you can see them being monster title holders for then if a babyface team like OTM, like they're trying to push right now, there's your, Battle of the Giants match, if you will. I think your Jasper Keanu team taking on OTM later on down the line, lots of fun. Throw Hank and Tank in there, make it a triple threat so that you have like a badass face team and a fun face team and a not quite face team. It could
Yeah.
be a fun dynamic to play with because I don't think people are going to necessarily boo Keanu, and Jasper Troy is just fun to watch.
Yeah.
OTM are we're trying to get to know them, and you don't really do that with a heel team. Hank and Tank are fun. They've kind of established themselves so much that they're kind of plug and play. Like you can put them in the match with not too much going forward. But we got some stuff to play with there.
Yeah,
Jasper at
certainly. I like
Keanu,
the Hank and Tank idea, and her name is Emily Agard. She did the
Agar, yeah.
interviews both times, and I thought both have been great highlights. The
I think
OTM
she's really
one
good,
was a
and
bit
I think
more
her
Fast
approach
and
is really good.
Furious. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was like, "We
I
got family and
got
family
family, and
and
here's my cousin,
family."
and we're gonna put a hot dog on the table at the beginning of the interview, and we're gonna actually eat the hot dog at the end of the pay per view, or at the end of the interview rather,
Yes.
and that's not a euphemism. But
No.
she's very like I don't want to say she's doing what's your story for NXT, but there's a little bit of that, and a little bit of that is okay.
Yes, it's working. And
All right,
like you said, the way they're doing it, it's highlighting the character of the wrestler. It's highlighting parts of them we didn't get to see. Like, I really
mhm,
liked Kendall Gray getting a chance to talk about herself because she doesn't like to cut promos most times. She
yep.
doesn't speak about herself really. So hey, let's go ahead and talk about her history and being a tomboy and so on and so forth. And what was it? It was excellent. It was one hell of a spotlight, and it really ingratiated her
I
more
do think
with the audience.
a lot of NXT, the people that are not quite so great at on the spot promos, they're getting those video packages that are voiced over, where
Yes.
you're getting the similar stuff that you would get out of an interview, but not necessarily in a like, here, let me shove a microphone in your face kind of way. And it's the Paul Heyman thing, maximize the strengths, hide the weaknesses. If you're not very good at this, let's do it a different way. Let's
Yes.
not trying to force, square peg round hole type stuff.
Exactly. Let's
And
not
I think
alienate
that's
our
where the
talent and make them
it's
feel
probably a big reason why
inadequate.
you see the WWE video package. WWE is very great at video packages. We say this all the time,
They've
but it's
got a
especially
great package.
I
I
that's what
mean,
she
it's
told me.
just
Anyways,
a phenomenal package.
took my pants off and she said, "Where'd the elephant come from?" Anyways, what?
Oh,
Moving swiftly on. Um, no, but it's a good thing of like we'll still get your voice out there, even if it's not necessarily in a have a microphone in your face type of promo.
yeah.
But yeah, but Hank and Tank, OTM, your ragtag team of Keanu and Jasper Troy there. I
Yes.
mean, we've seen that template before as well. We've seen it with Cesaro and Sheamus. I don't know what the hell happened
Yeah.
to Cesaro these days, but I
Even
hear
you could
he's
even say
over
like the what was their name? The War
par.
Dogs,
Oh,
Baron
oh, the Wolf
Corbin and
Dogs,
Wolf
Wolf
Dogs.
Dogs,
There we go.
which is the greatest name ever because it's like
Wolf
wolf,
Dogs.
wolf, dog, dog.
Yes.
All right. Speaking of somebody with that dog in him, that's not gonna work at all.
And that
But,
wasn't a hit about Baron Corbin possibly coming back.
no,
No.
no, 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 no.
No.
Current North American champion, our buddy Miles Bourne. What have we not said about Miles Bourne
Who?
recently? Miles Bourne.
Uh, who?
I know you can't hear me, it's fine.
Oh,
Uh,
sorry. No, Miles, I
yeah,
love
great.
as our champ, and he's fantastic. He's
Mm,
always enjoyable, and he's just like infectious in the level of realism that he presents.
yep.
So he's unlike Bianca Belair coming out there skipping after losing, and smiling and that the things that irritate the fans. He manages to, be serious when needed. He can come out and smile and be a babyface, but then when Dark State has him cornered, he's scrappy and he's, gritty and real, and it just showcases a different level to him. So I've really enjoyed what the mid card title has done with him, and I think that since we're taking the tag titles away, Jackson Drake would make a great next champ. I mean, you want a
Okay.
chance to elevate somebody that's not really much in that mix right now. I mean, he was a great Evolve champion, and I think it would give him a chance to not shy away from the group, but really showcase his talents more away from Swipe Right Vanity Project.
Okay, for a very similar reason, one of my choices here I've got 3 here, so and they're all for different reasons. As far as elevating somebody that's just kind of shown up, even though he's had a really unfortunate name change in the first couple of weeks,
Yes.
I'm looking at EK Prosper.
No, that's a good name.
He's a lot of fun. He's a lot of fun to watch. Eli Knight was a fine name. Nobody's gonna, mistake him for LA Knight. It's fine. Don't we can't have Adam Cole because people might mistake him with Michael Cole. What are we doing? EK Prosper is a weird name, but Dolph
I
Ziggler was a
liked
weird
Eli
name for
Knight better,
yeah, yeah. We'll get
obviously,
used
so
to it.
EK Prosper, I'm
EK's
curious
not
as
a
to
name.
why.
Like, that's my thing.
That's
Like,
yeah,
it doesn't
so
quite hit like, CM Punk or R-Truth or all the
no.
names that are like a letter and a number and a whatever, whatever. But he's a lot of fun to watch in the ring. He has, sort of filled in that void of like a young up and coming Javon Evans type. This is once again where you say get rid of this. People will say get rid of the speed title, maybe quietly reintroduce the cruiserweight title because we do have a lot. But then selfishly, on the other side of the coin, I want them to introduce a super heavyweight title because WWE is presenting the big guys really well at the
Yeah,
moment. Neither one of those is going to happen because, like we said before, already 16 titles. EK Prosper's a lot of fun to watch. I'd like to get a little bit more character stuff out of him
yeah,
because right now we're getting
because
a lot of, "Look at me, I'm the fun new guy," or "Look at me, I'm one of the fun new guys, and I'm teaming up with another one of the fun new guys." Like,
yes.
I'd like to dig a little bit deeper on that and maybe him having a solitary goal or having a solitary, "Hey, here's this thing that I've gotten," and I just it would be a respectful thing of like, "Miles carried this title really well, and I wanna continue that on," and that kind of thing. EK Prosper, I wanna know more about him. And if the North American Championship can be the talisman to get us there, very, very cool.
Yeah,
Obviously,
Leon Slater is a kind of a unfortunate,
template as
like
well, yeah.
yeah, for EK at times, so I'd
Oh,
like to
can we
see
talk
him
it's gotta be a whole separate conversation about Leon Slater, about, just getting so, so close to beating, Austin Aries' record and, not quite reaching the promised land. Shout out to
yeah.
Cedric Alexander, the new X Division champion. There's another conversation to have another day of, okay, does this mean that Leon Slater's going for the TNA title, or does this mean Leon Slater's coming to NXT?
I wondered
Because
that as well.
you shove him in all these categories, make him a tag team with Javon Evans on Raw, and that would be a whole other separate bracket on my notes here. But
Yeah, no kidding.
it's an exciting thing right now to see, Leon Slater, the one that everybody loves, from Heartbreak comes what? But
Mhm.
speaking of people that people don't exactly like, that's not a good transition either. We got a wrestler who's not at all new to NXT, but has kind of been floating around, kind of fighting with the other big guys just because they're all big guys, kind of directionless since he lost his tag team partner and his favorite barmaid is now on the main roster. What do we think about Josh Briggs just coming in and monstering Miles Bourne if the push that follows is appropriate?
Yeah, it would be heavily contingent upon what follows, and I think it could work, but Briggs has not captured my attention yet. I've really not enjoyed much of him, so not for lack of
My thing is
trying either.
he hasn't been given an opportunity to, and then, more fool NXT for that, and we've got another wave of new guys, and which is awesome, but for every wave of new guys, the guy that wasn't already getting attention gets less and less. Josh Briggs is in a weird place because wherever I do see him, he grabs my attention immediately, but it's only for, like, 5 minutes at a time. So it's he got my
Yeah,
attention, I bit into the attention, but NXT has taught me, well, don't hold on to that too hard because you might not see him next week. So he's good at grabbing the moments. The promotion behind the moments that he grabs hasn't been great. He walks into the
exactly.
ring, he's got a lot of presence, he knows how to use his size. He's talked about like he's another one that's talked about like hey, I got advice from Kevin Nash, I got advice from The Undertaker. He's very open about, like, being a big man in wrestling is different, and I've had these other big men to talk to, and that's really fucking awesome and whatever. And you can see it. Like, you can see, like, a big guy doesn't walk into the ring the same as a small guy does, you know? My stride is longer than your stride. I get to the other side of the ring faster than you. I hit you, it's gonna be harder than if you hit me. I can swat you out of the air because I'm not necessarily going to the air. Um, I really like him in the short bits that we get him. I'm just always bummed that they're short. Him coming in and monstering Miles Bourne, because Miles Bourne as a champion has already established himself as somebody who's not gonna lose anything in the audience response by losing the title. If anything, they're just gonna be, like, outraged for him. And I mean, you could even do, like, a run, maybe like a best of 3 or whatever with him and Josh, and it would be a lot of fun.
Certainly would. I just think they would really have to follow up strong. And
Yes.
like you said, one of the things of NXT is like you see people for weeks in and weeks out, like a Tatum, like so, and then all of a sudden for a few weeks they're just not there.
Mhm.
And even their
I think
champs, you know.
when
So
Tatum's on and Tatum's off, but when Tatum's on, they give her, like, a whole segment or a great match or a cool
multiple
story
segments
or
at
whatever.
times. And
You
yeah,
you might
no,
not you might not necessarily see that story next week, but the story is there. There'll be a video package of, like, "Hey, remember when she got fucked with last week?" Josh
yes.
Briggs doesn't, and
And he
all
doesn't
power to
get
her.
any
Like,
of that. I'm just
Tatum
saying,
Paxley
like,
absolutely
at
deserves what
least
she's
she's
getting.
remembered when she's
Yeah.
not there. I understand that point. I'm just saying, like, there's a lot of NXT talent that they do this with
Oh, yeah.
where, oh, Tony D's not around this week or, you know, so on and so forth. No Dark
But I
State
think
for a
I think
month at
with
a time.
yeah, Josh Briggs doesn't get what Tatum Paxley gets. Like, they know that they have something with Tatum
Oh,
Paxley, so
absolutely not. I'm not
even
saying on that
even
level, but I'm just
even even
saying with
even the
NXT, it
weeks
does
that,
happen.
even the weeks that Tatum Paxley's not on the show, you'll get a little recap of what happened
Yeah,
last
there's
week, or you'll
something there
get,
for
like,
her.
there'll be her bumping shoulders with somebody backstage, or she'll be in Mr. Stone's office, finding out that she has a match next week. They'll keep her in the mind.
Yes.
And that's good, and like I say, all the power to her. I love Tatum Paxley, we
Yeah.
know this,
Well,
but
she probably wasn't the best example, but, you know, like, more even Dark State or, you know, there's
hmm,
been many a groups or people. Jada Parker was one, you know, she's still active, but then you don't see them for weeks on end, and there is only so much time, and there is only so much that they can
and see, Josh
do.
Briggs is funny because you could give, and I know Dark State is a group, Josh Briggs is one guy, but they had a thing for a while there with Dark State where you always kinda had them in mind because you never knew who they were gonna attack next. Josh
Yes.
Briggs is a big dude. Josh Briggs is a faction all by himself. You could push him like that. Is he gonna take out Tony this week? Is he gonna take out Miles next week? Is he gonna take out, one of the Vanity Project because I don't have a partner yet, but I'm coming for those titles anyway. Like, you
Yeah,
could
man, they
give
really
him
neutered Dark State, huh? Oof. Sorry, but that just
I
sunk
don't
in.
know. Yeah, I didn't even think about them in the tag thing, 'cause I was trying to get away
No.
from the whole
Well,
faction
that's why
nonsense.
I'm
Now,
like, I'm done with them, sadly.
my 3rd option, and I'm gonna
Yes.
go back on what I said. I said I wanted to take tag titles out of factions because it doesn't really help the tag team division. I don't think the same thing is true about singles titles. You can be a singles champion in a faction and still shine a light on a belt.
Yes.
And you can even go to TNA. We've seen it with lots of people, and grab one of the TNA belts for a little bit and get the TNA crowd pissed off that you've got one of their belts, and grow your character, grow you and your valet's character in TNA, get exposure on both shows. We've seen it help out literally everybody. JC Jane, Trick Williams, Ariana Grace, etc. Which brings me to somebody you might not have thought that I would mention. What do you think about new North American champion Channing Stacks Lorenzo?
It could work in the birthright. I mean, especially him because he's the one that has not really gotten a chance outwardly to shine. I mean,
Mhm.
other guys have had other things, and he is in the birthright. Why? You know, that kind of thing. So at least now he
He
holds his
married
weight
in.
in gold. Yeah, but he's not an actual Nepo baby. So as much as he lucked out and got his spot through Riz, you know, or
I mean,
Grace,
to be
excuse me.
fair, if you wanna take it right to the top of the company, people call Triple H a nepo baby
Yeah,
because he
oh,
married into
absolutely.
the McMahon
But
family.
what I'm
Is
saying
this a
is
microcosm of that?
it could be, but here's the thing now. Now he's got the title. Now he what's your worth in blood, in the, here you go.
I
And
think him walking around with the North American title and
in
Lexus
birthright.
King yeah,
Yeah,
Lexus King walking around with the Speed title at the same time, even though we're not talking about the Speed title, and the 2 of them acting like they're the 2 most important champions in WWE could be a hell of a shtick for a little bit.
absolutely.
And as
See?
far as even within NXT, because, like, if they're not invading NXT like they did TNA, but it's still one of those you can play off the, "Oh my god, I can't believe that guy got the title." And then anybody else comes along, even if it's Josh Briggs, somebody like an EK Prosper could be like, "Go beat that guy, because right now we're gonna cheer for anybody else." There's a spot for that role. Again, I go back to the Miz role, like I did with the Vanity Project. It's such an important role within wrestling. We could have 5 or 6 more Mizes, and not they don't necessarily have to be exactly like him, but to fill that role,
Yeah, that type.
you get a couple more Mizes in the WWE, WWE will be better for it. Stacks being a Miz, you know, standing side by side with Lexus King as his sort of Dolph Ziggler-ish character, um, could be a lot of fun, man, could be a lot of fun, and like I
Yeah,
say,
there's a lot of good to be
those guys
had there.
I'm surprised they didn't put the speed title on Stacks, because Stacks walking around like he runs the joint, "I got the hottest chick in wrestling, I'm gonna make the speed title the most important title in wrestling." He could do something like that,
Yeah,
and
it
it won't be
becomes
it'll be
a
an
reason to
anti-no
have him
title
in the
run.
birthright. Now he's a champion, so now he serves a purpose as well, and
And do you get
that's
internal
important.
conflict? Do you get birthright? Can they coexist? Who's the more important champion between Stacks and Lexus King? It would be
And Grace, because
ridiculous.
she's the women's champion. If he starts saying he's the most
No, she's not.
important champ, that could set her off, and she could threaten to kick him out and not do the wet. Like, there's so many
Grace
drama
Grace
angles and
Grace
added
is Grace is
things.
Grace isn't the Knockouts champion anymore.
No? Oh, I'm like 2
No.
weeks or 3 weeks behind on TNA, so
Yeah,
that would
no, spoiler alert, she lost it to, Lei Yingli.
Ooh, there we go. See? So, the only
Who's doing
reason I heard
amazing,
about
and
the Cedric
we
thing
talk
is
we
because
talk
that was
about
everywhere.
we talk about promos. There's somebody who's getting a whole lot better in promos
Yes,
over in
she's been
TNA.
much more impressive, so,
One of the and, people will always say, "Oh, you guys just, like, suck dick on WWE." One of the biggest mistakes, like, how do you not make a gigantic star out of Lei Yingli? She's fucking amazing.
yeah, she's always held her weight in gold, and
She
and
can't cut
they
promos.
pigeon her
Alright.
yeah, they pigeonholed her into that one archetype, that one
Yeah.
Asian caricature, and that was it, so
They literally made her a cartoon character. Remember when everybody had, like, an augmented reality entrance, and
oh,
she had, like,
boy.
the lightning and everything? And it like, not just for her, like, for everybody, but hers was, like,
Everybody
particularly
the
cringe.
worst what was the worst one?
The worst one was, Roman Reigns walking out between his own legs,
I
I think.
honestly thought the worst one was the Riddle stuff. I hated the doves, the birds, all that stuff. Like, the snake
Oh,
for Orton was pretty bad, but it looked like,
the stuff with Riddle, where I have to give it credit, is the stuff with Riddle made sense because he was a ridiculous character, and you do need something else as a wrestler to make ridiculous stuff work. Lei Yingli, or Xia Li as she was at the time, don't give her ridiculous stuff because she's a serious wrestler.
yeah.
Give Give the lightning stuff give the lightning stuff to John Cena. Remember when he was trying to get the lightning fist over? Because he'll
Yes.
lean into the goofy and it'll work. That's why I didn't mind the Riddle stuff. The Riddle stuff where he, like, hopped it even before he had the augmented reality thing, when he was coming in with the flip flop, because he wrestled
Yeah.
barefoot, when he came in with the flip flops and, like, kicked them out of the ring. That kind of stuff made sense because he's a bit ridiculous. So give the ridiculous stuff to the ridiculous guy. But then they just said augmented reality stuff. Roman Reigns walking out between his own legs was
It was
stupid.
pretty
And
egregiously bad. Yeah, it was
you
very
saw
stupid.
the other one was Becky Lynch,
With the
and it was
big
just
time
like,
Becks.
no, with the big, animated version of her face with, like, the
Yeah, I
sunglasses
thought that
half
was the
on.
big time Becks logo or whatever, but maybe
Yeah,
I'm
it
crazy.
was
But yeah, she went
just
ahead and
walking
she
out next
had
to your own
that,
head. Don't
and
walk
it
through your
just
own legs, and
looked
don't walk out next to your own head. Bad news.
yeah. It
But,
was bad. And a lot of those just looked terrible,
oh, they
and
did. They all look terrible.
that's why I was like, "Oof." You figured they would have
It's not
worked
like
by
now
now, but
where they did the AI, Dominic Mysterio thing for AAA, and he was wearing the AEW belt.
oh god, how do you not see that too? Like, it was so
It's so funny
glaringly
because that
obvious,
would mean that there's 2 belts now that both Dominic Mysterio and, Kenny Omega have held.
right?
The lineage the lineage of the AAA title goes from Kenny Omega through a couple of other people to Dominic Mysterio. That is kind of funny.
It
And
does indeed make me chuckle.
what's crazy about that is, like, a Dominic Mysterio versus Kenny Omega match wouldn't be the worst thing in the world.
No,
It would be a lot of
not at
fun.
all.
I wanna give Kenny the credit that it would be ridiculous enough to lean into the Dom, like, dirty, dirty Dom stuff. Um, oh my god, Kenny Omega interacting with Liv Morgan would be hilarious.
Who's the
Would be
breathier
hilarious.
one, right?
Who's who's got the better V trigger? And,
Oh, boy.
V stands for what now?
Mm,
But yeah, lots of really cool,
that's a battle.
options for Miles and the North American Championship, but obviously, I think Miles is gonna go far. I do wanna give WWE credit like we have before of, like, they addressed the fact that he's got, like, the hearing issues and whatever, but they didn't immediately turn it into a gimmick,
Yes, no, they
which
gave
is
him
nice
an
because
actual chance.
there's a certain amount of time where, like, that would have been the thing, and you would have been having, like, an earmuff match or something to that effect.
Mhm. Forget
Yeah.
blindfolds. We've got and it's like, ah.
Oh my god, blindfold that's no a no sense match. Anyways,
Mm,
we've already brought her up, so let's bring her up again. The Women's North American Champion, Tatum Paxley. How much can we say about Tatum Paxley?
how much
Crowd loves her. Crowd loves
yeah.
her. She works well with pretty much everybody. "Oh, it's just another goth chick." Okay, people like goth chicks, it's fine. Don't worry about it.
It's been, really
One week.
entertaining to see her grow, prosper, and become, such a great champion that's connected to the people, connected to, Shiloh, connected to you know what I mean? Like, there's different aspects of
Oh, yeah.
her, and each one is just more impressive than the last, and
You
that's
create this
really
thing in
what's
wrestling
exciting.
that's really hard to do without sounding corny. You just like you have this like slowly growing group of friends in the back that are just like they're not a team, they're not a faction, they're whatever. They're just kind of like happy for each other. And it's hard to do that in wrestling without
Yeah,
thinking, oh, somebody's gonna turn on somebody or whatever. Here's my problem, right? Because Pax is like one of the biggest baby faces they have in NXT right now. All the heels on NXT that I would want to see her face have already been North American champion, and I want to see them at the next level. So I've had to go the other way. Her as the North American champion, Tatum Paxley. I have to see it as we already know she's handing opportunities to people that she think deserves it. One of them she's already kind of said, and the other one is just one that I want to see.
yeah.
So in a handshake, in a friendly, so to speak, I got to say that the next North American champion is either Thea Hale or Lizzie Rain.
I personally wanna go with Lizzie Rain.
Yeah.
She's got, a matchup coming. They've had, a really good tag match together. She has a finisher with the Thunderstruck so nice, she's done it twice to Nikita
Oh,
Lyons, and that's been fun to see. So,
shout out
I've
Nikita Lyons,
been
who's gone through a
yeah,
hell of a transformation as well.
and transformation, I mean, Lizzie Rain looks she's incredibly beautiful, and then when she's got the rocker, hair and all the gimmick and stuff, it's like, "Oh, what a difference," but man, oh
She's
man,
very
I'm
Lizzie
telling you.
Hale, and that doesn't hurt my feelings at all.
No,
Um,
not one bit, so
Thea Hale I throw in there as well because, like, she got a North American title run, and it was by accident, and everybody kinda knew it, and that took up the news feeds for, like, a week, and that's kinda shit. Like,
yeah,
for her like, I'm kinda doing the, like, on a human level thing for a second, but it's like, "Yeah, you became champion by accident, like, fuck off." Like, "Nah."
yeah, that's
She's really awesome, and the crowd loves Lizzie Rain. It's a new thing. It's kinda like the hot goth chick thing, like, bring in somebody with a little bit of a rock and roll aesthetic, and people pick it up pretty quickly,
yeah.
but the fans haven't dropped Lizzie or, Thea Hale either.
No,
See, between the
no,
2 of
they
them,
haven't.
between Lizzie Rain and Thea Hale, I do have Lizzie Hale there, so it's
I
gonna fuck
know,
me
I
up a
keep
lot.
I and Izzy Dame,
Um I
applied in the
wouldn't I
rain.
wouldn't I wouldn't mind, seeing more of what we saw last week with Tatum Paxley and Lizzie Rain being a tag team, but I
Yeah,
have I have a slight other situation. that I want to see in the tag team ranks with Tatum Paxley, which we're going to talk about quite a bit later on. I think we touched on it a bit last week as well. Lizzie Rain or Thea Hale, both of them, like, don't make it another like official open challenge, but just Tatum Paxley in the back. Hey, Lizzie, you were my partner last week. I really appreciate it. So I'm going to give you a shot at my title next week.
Yeah,
Thea, I've seen, like you haven't been yourself or you haven't been where you used to be. And I know you spend a lot of time helping Kendall Gray get where she wants to be, but who's worrying about you and where you want to be? How would you like to, why don't we go out there and show them what we both can do? Like those very conversational, like, hey, how about next week? What are you doing next week?
yes,
Um, it's a very
which
easy way to
I
get into it.
appreciated.
And that's where I say like a handshake friendly over it.
Yes,
Like it's a way to pass on the title without, Pax got screwed again or so and so jumped so and so. Because like I say, there's a lot of heels in that division, but a lot of them have either already had the belt before or had shots at that belt before, or I'd like to see them higher. So
absolutely.
If she hadn't already been the champion, if she wasn't the inaugural champion, number one with a bullet in here would be Kalani Jordan, but she's already been there and she's already been the TNA champion. So I want to see where she goes a little bit higher as well. Kalani Jordan might be the one that does that thing that I don't really like, where she ends up on the main roster before she's had an NXT title.
Yeah.
Don't know how I feel about that, but I'd like to see her mix it up with a couple of different people because she's sort of been there a while. So my picks for the next North American Women's Champion are both baby faces: Lizzie Rain, Thea Hale. I don't want Pax to drop that title anytime soon either. So there's more names that are going to come up eventually, but here's where I sit right now. How about you?
Yeah, no, I feel like that's probably where I'm at as well. Less the more Rain, but I definitely
Okay,
want to see Lizzie get that title sooner than later. Just like they've done in the past with others, like Kalani, like, so many others. They're like, here, you got the belt and then build yourself. Why not? That's what the mid card
cool.
belt is for at times too. So,
Yeah, I agree. Anybody on the heel side that you can see going like targeting Tatum Paxley and getting a title that way? Is there somebody I'm missing?
uh, honestly, no.
Okay.
So going through, um, there's really not Zari. I don't want to see her go for the mid card
No. Even though the story they tried to tell with her was like, "Oh, this all started with me having to
because
carry
of
that title for
yeah,
you." And I can think about that is I can see that from a storytelling point of view, from a personality point of view. But why would you, when you've been with that tag team partner and that being with that tag team partner has taken you to main roster matches, why would you kick that tag team partner out to go and
yeah.
aim
Why
straight to
amputate your foot and Janetti yourself? I get it.
yeah, it's but I don't know, she's carrying herself. Like I will
Yikes.
say Zarya's not on my right now either, but she is like I'm not saying oh my god she's a brand new character all of a sudden, but she's carrying herself a little bit a little bit more head held high
Oh
since
yeah, it shows certainly.
yeah. She's got the what did I say? What did I say last week? She's the flaming hot spicy Dorito Rhea Ripley.
Yes, and that's very true, and it works. And there's been quite a bit of good overall from her character and development. So
Zarya is one of those ones as well, and I don't want to keep her away from titles, but she is sort of like the monster of the division right now, other than maybe like newer people like a Callie Armstrong. She's one of those ones where it's like, okay, on this pay-per-view, we've got this match, this match, this match, and a monster match. Like, and it could be her versus, Mika Lockwood. And it's like, I don't want to say it like this, but two beefy ladies slapping lady me. It
yeah,
doesn't work.
no, yeah.
It doesn't work the same way, but yeah.
The
So
roast
Zarya
beef
versus
reference almost works,
oh
but not quite.
no, Zarya versus Peg. Don't even worry
Mm,
about it.
don't worry.
Um, but I hate saying that because it sounds like I'm trying to keep her away from a title, which I definitely don't want to do because a monster holding a title becomes a put over moment for your next, David and Goliath
Yeah, who
situation
takes them
or
down? Certainly.
or Davina and Goliath. I don't know what female Goliath name would be. But Speaking of spicy hot like Doritos, let's talk about the NXT Women's Champion Lola Vice, also currently one half of the mixed tag team champions down in Triple A. Now, this is the most interesting one for me on from an NXT perspective because this is the one that I think is going to get dropped first. The more I watch Triple A, and I'm actually catching up on Triple A, the
Yes.
more I feel like they're pulling her from NXT to be a solid fixture on Triple A. So for now, it's a good shot in the arm for Triple A to be like, look at all these matches we have with the NXT Women's World Champion. She's going to take on Flamer at some point, and she's going to be the Reina de Reinas champion at some point. And I don't think they
Yes.
need her with. I like her being Lola 2 belts. I don't think she needs to be Lola 3 belts. We don't need to do a belt collector gimmick. It's not Sasha
No.
Banks. So
Exactly, and I'm
when I
not
say it,
crazy about Lola Vice to begin with. I don't
really,
dislike her, but I've never been, like, enamored by her in ring or the character, and she's not bad, she's just not my overall cup of tea, certainly. A lot
okay,
of times, I just don't find the same enjoyment factor that others have with it, so,
okay,
um, but I think she's done a good job with the title so far and the AAA involvement, and I believe that Izzy Dame should is what it is and take that belt.
okay,
That's
all right,
that's
very
my
cool.
go-to because they've done the will they, won't they. They start to build Dame and then they pull back and the culling doesn't really accomplish anything time and time again. So hopefully this time it actually
Is it
matters and
me?
something comes of it.
Is it me, or does the culling not really feel like a faction anymore as much as it is, here's Izzy Dame and her manager and her heavy?
Yes. She's got, her
And
mentor
that's
and her backup.
Sean Spears has talked a lot about, like, the reason he wanted to go to NXT is because he wanted to help other people succeed, and he's very good as a guy standing behind Izzy Dame because Izzy Dame is the forefront of that,
Yeah, and they know it.
which is fine, and she deserves to be. I don't know if 'cause I said I don't wanna have somebody just go grab the North American Championship again, but I don't know if she's up there for me because I do rate Lola Vice pretty high, and I think
Yeah.
she's great in a sense of wherever she's gone. I think she's been to TNA, but she's obviously spent a lot of time in AAA. There's been some crossover with the main roster, I just can't remember what it was, and she's very good at portraying, like, she's not the biggest person in the world. She doesn't have like gigantic presence, but she's got the other side of it where it's like whatever ring she's in, whatever show she's on, she already feels comfortable. She already
Yeah.
feels like she belongs there.
Like I said, I don't
Um,
dislike her. It's fun to see her
yeah,
dad get involved. I like the MMA background.
yeah.
She
But she's not grabbing
legitimizes
you.
things. Yeah, it's just not
She's not grabbing you, which is fine. She does grab me, and I would love it if she would grab me, but hey, that's
right.
another story for the day. Um, I think she's very plug and play. I think her being at the head of the AAA women's division is gonna be a higher spot for her than her being the champion in
Yes, and it makes total
NXT
sense as to why
because the reaction and the thing
yeah,
is, like,
they put so much behind her.
they do, and the response that she gets is crazy, and somehow she's managed to make the tag team reign with her and Mr. Iguana not goofy.
Yes,
Like, the
it
2 of
should
them as a
be,
tag team
but
like, Mr. Iguana's still fun, and you can tell that she's having fun with it, but she's not out there to be funny. Like, Miz and Kit
yeah,
Wilson, for an example, on SmackDown, go out there, and it's goofy, and it's supposed to be goofy, but it makes it light. They go out
yes.
there Mr. Iguana is benefiting 100% from being tag team partners with Lola Vice. Let's be real for a second.
Oh,
But, like,
absolutely.
she manages to take this thing that's goofy and be like, "Okay, like, it's fun, but we're still gonna go out here and kick ass." And it's another one of those, like, not everybody can do that things. So I think she's very adaptable, she's very versatile, she feels at home in whatever ring she's in. Um, I do think it's gonna pull her away from NXT to AAA, but I wonder if they see her as such a high value commodity in AAA that it's a much longer time before we see her on the main roster in WWE.
Yeah, it seems like they've got more plans for her down there, the dual contract,
Yeah,
the whole nature of it just feels like, "Hey, here's our plan. We've got a
yeah.
big star, but she's just not
We
going to
haven't
you
we still
guys
haven't
yet."
we still haven't broached really the idea of a AAA call up. Like,
No.
'cause has anybody constantly been, I just watched, because we've had people from the main roster go down to AAA, and we've had, the Psycho Circus show up on occasion to have a tag team, like, exhibition type of idea. Ray Phoenix is killing it in
Yeah,
AAA right now. He just had his
match of his
contenders
life.
he has had his contenders match with Laredo Kid, so we're gonna get that again for a belt somewhere down the line. Holy Christ. But we haven't had like, we always talk about NXT call-ups, and since last year at WrestleMania, and AAA being a thing, we haven't really broached the concept of a AAA call-up just yet, and I'm
And
wondering
that's a
when
great
that
point. We haven't, yeah, because they haven't really, uh,
now does
enabled
that
that to
become
happen
part of,
yet.
do we see that kinda crossover in something like a John Cena Classic as we're waiting on more information for that? But
I
anyway,
wanna say no, but I would like to see it
hmm,
personally.
TJP shows back up in WWE. Hey, what do you
Could
say?
could be fun.
With
He's
his
improved
pink
even
eye and
more.
everything.
He was a hell of a contender then, so,
Yeah, with his video game music.
yes.
It's so
They
good.
they another one that got, lack of better term, pigeonholed into a
Yeah,
less than stellar gimmick overall.
let's let's get back TJP. Let's go back 10 years and bring back Enzo and Cass. You know, Big Bill's gonna be
Yeah,
available soon. We need to talk about that on another pod. Anyways,
can't
but
teach that.
for all the reasons that I've mentioned, I don't think Lola Vice holds the NXT title for that long.
No.
Um, the one that he teased, and it is more babyface type stuff, but they're both baby faces that are like, yeah, we can shake hands and smile, but I'll still punch you in the face. And it's the match that I'd rather see, and it's Lola Vice being dethroned by Kendall Gray.
Yes. No, that would be my choice as well, but
The way they've already started off the conversation of like what's better for what makes you a better pro wrestler, the mixed martial arts background or the pro or the amateur wrestling background. That is a story in and of itself. Kendall Gray, it feels like, because I don't watch Evolve, this is why we're not talking about the Evolve titles.
yeah.
But if you're just watching NXT, it kind of feels like in the past 6 months, Kendall Gray came out of nowhere and like got everybody's attention right away. So
Yeah.
you wanna say, "Hey, WWE, like, look at that, run with it."
I'm not
Uh,
watching Evolve Weekly either, but I saw highlights from her and I'm like, Jesus Christ, that girl.
oh, yeah,
I knew and then when she got into LFG this season, they just moved her right up to NXT in
yeah,
storyline, so
nice. And I mean, the fact they like, everybody loves her, but, like, just in case a couple people didn't, like, the pairing of her and Ren Sinclair has been a great thing as well because everybody
yeah.
kinda, like, sentimentally loves Ren Sinclair.
Yep.
Ren Sinclair is another one that I should have put in for the North American Championship, but again, still more babyface versus babyface, like friendly handshake matches type of thing. The other one, and it's not so much for the match itself, I hate to say, but it is for how much she's over, and she's only gotten more over after being gone for a while. Do we see another like a rekindling of the rivalry between Lola Vice and Jada Parker?
I don't think so. I feel like they don't they would put Jada with the mid title and the main title, if anything.
Okay. I'm just saying because I've warmed up on her slowly. I mean, she's got clearly obvious assets that people want to take advantage of, but the crowd pops for her. Like she's deliberately and repetitively getting some of the largest week to week pops on NXT. Now, there's the there's the always present conversation of, "Oh, those people got free tickets. They're there every week. They're told who to cheer for, da 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 da." I don't care.
Yeah,
What
that
I see
doesn't
on the
matter.
TV is what I see on the TV is what I see on the TV. And character-wise, she comes right through the screen.
Yeah, very
And
true.
if you wanna say she might be one of the wrestlers where, like, character gets you there before the wrestling does, that's a story for wrestling of all time. Like,
Absolutely.
pretending that's new is not it. Her and Lola Vice do have history. You can pick it up sort of like a rekindling type thing. If you wanna say that here's Kendall Gray trying to get, uh, from a pure sports point of view, like, "Hey, I'm just another competitor trying to get my shot at the champion," and trying to sort of grab the attention while the other two are having like a personal issue, you could have a very interesting triple threat on your hands.
Absolutely.
Because by comparison, Miss Parker would be the powerhouse in that match. Kendall Gray's not exactly the biggest person in the world, and neither is Lola Vice. Um, I don't know that I would necessarily prefer the triple threat match, but I want to see this Clash of Styles matches between Lola and Kendall, but then maybe play out the story. We get an awesome match, but we don't get a finish because Miss Parker wants to get back in the mix. She wants to throw her ass in the ring, pun intended.
Yeah.
And you get the triple threat match later on down the line. I don't know who takes it. Kendall, Miss Parker. Um, Zarya is always the X factor that we want to say like existing just outside the title picture. But the ladies always kill it on NXT. They've always got more options coming up. Mika Lockwood's gonna come out and like eat Thea Hale for lunch. Uh, but yeah, and then we got
Hey,
the men's.
we got the
We got the
men's side.
men's. The Paisan, the Dawn of NXT, Mr. Tony D.
Mm,
Um, we always thought that like, oh, Tony D'Angelo as the champion of the brand wasn't going to work. Well, they just sort of rebranded him as the guy that comes out and kills everybody. There's a little bit of Sin City
yeah.
to Tony D's act these days, and I got two out of nowhere picks for you because I don't think it's going to be Keanu Carver, and a lot of people think it is.
Yeah.
I'm going either the fun way, which is Shiloh Hill,
Ooh.
or the hey, I just fucking got here. How about we have a match way of Naraku, the former
Ooh.
Evil.
Yes.
Shout out to Evil and Io Shirai putting up
Eos,
all the wedding
yeah,
pictures and
getting
whatnot. So
married.
happy for them. Very, very, very cool to see. Um, yeah, go fun
Congrats to
or go
them.
new.
So I like Naraku. The idea of it seems like he's going for the belt with how it's been handled so far.
Yeah,
I see that and I raise you. He's big, he's bad, he body slam, you're dead. Mason Rook. Uh Everybody's favorite lesbian.
oh
Um
no.
I I like
Rosie
Rook.
O'Donnell in NXT form.
Yes, and boy, oh boy, the blonde mullet didn't do him much justice, but William Walker, he's 29, and let me tell you this, anybody born before 9/11 in my book, you're alright. No, he's worked his ass off from England. He was originally called The Headline, and, he just has evolved quite a bit with these looks, and I'm telling you, he started off a very, like, goth-esque dark look, and then he got some
Really?
longer
Okay.
hair, and then he went to the mullet, then the blonde mullet, and then the shaved blonde head, so, the
You
shorter
know what's
hair, the Ellen
you know how you know
haircut.
I'm a really bad person sometimes? I saw him for the first time, Mason Rook, when he made his first debut, and they're trying to pass it off as, "Oh my god, is that a fan?" Well, clearly not, or else security would be out there. So,
Yeah.
like, we don't necessarily need to do that. First time I saw Mason Rook, my very first response was like, "Why don't you send him down to AAA and let him fight Mini Vikingo?"
Yes, just let him, work it
Who's like
out.
an 18-year-old toothpick who's kicking ass, who's got, like, the tornado suicide dive crucifix bomb.
Yes,
Which, if it happened in another company, would be getting applauded because it happened under the WWE banner. Really, it's getting,
it's
"Oh,
dangerous.
that's such a dangerous spot. Why would you do that on the floor?" Fuck off, by the way. Um,
But he does a reverse pile driver. Obviously, we saw the moonsault. He does this spinning leg hook sit out pile driver as well.
everybody's
The
like, "Oh,
Turkish dishwasher.
his moonsault's so messy." He's a big guy. His moonsault's supposed to be messy.
Yes, he's not
It's
agilely
not
flying
gymnastics.
through
It's
the
not
air.
gymnastics. I don't know. There's
Not
there's a
supposed
big
to be
part of me
pretty.
that wants to see uh Shiloh and Paxley sitting at the top of NXT. Like, it's NXT, make it weird.
I think it's
Um,
going to happen at some point,
yeah.
just not for a bit.
Naraku is
He's
I've seen
taking the
him exactly
title, I think.
yeah, I've seen him exactly once. It seems to be one of those guys that comes in at the top and just grabs the belt.
Yes.
There's parts of that not to love if you wanna get picky about it, but I mean, at the same time, you grabbed a name and you wanna belt him up.
Mm,
I also it's another one of those ones, don't take the title off of Tony D unless you're putting him on the main roster because 'cause we've seen a lot of guys, and Trick Williams came out of it unscratched because it's Trick Williams, but there's a lot of guys that, like, have their title run, have a lengthy title run, drop their title, and just kinda hang out a bit.
Yeah, and it
And I don't
really
think
sullies
they've
their
done good
name.
they've done good things with Tony D's character, but I don't think his character necessarily, survives that.
No, and how could
But,
you? You're just
yeah,
staying warm, idly waiting. Supposedly, though,
yeah.
more call-ups are happening, and we're gonna be seeing this, at SummerSlam time,
Okay.
if
Very,
you
very
figure
cool.
the timeline, he challenges for the belt and they have one rematch, I could see him getting pulled up
Yeah.
for SummerSlam.
2-night SummerSlam as well.
Yeah, so they're gonna
Let's all
need
let's all fight right now over what's gonna be better, Saturday or Sunday, even though there's no matches announced. Derpa 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 derp.
let's fantasy book, you ready?
Let's do the WrestleMania thing of, like, pretending the night 1 main event is a real main event. Anyways,
Uh,
moving swiftly on. Let's talk about something else that people like to gangbang, even though it's not as bad as people wanna say. The WWE Women's Tag Team Championships, currently held by Paige, yay, and Brie, boo.
yeah,
I got I
everybody
got 3
loves
options
themselves
here.
some Paige, obviously.
I got 3 options here, and none of them
Brie,
are who you would think. None of them are who you would think because I'm not going to say Bliss and Charlotte, even though they're great. I'm not gonna say Bailey and Lyra, even though they are great, and Bailey's doing cool AAA stuff now. I'm not going to say the Irresistible Forces, even though they're great. I'm going to say, first of all, the most obvious one, because Fatal Influence in 2 weeks has already made such an impact that apparently they're restructuring their booking for SmackDown. Um, that may or may not come up in a conversation shortly,
no
but,
surprise
uh,
there.
Laney Reed and Fallon Henley dethroning Paige and Brie is one option. Another option, talking about what you said before about, Keanu and Jasper Troy, why don't you get people that aren't really supposed to get along, but have been seen together a lot in the back, and the more they say they're not gonna be a tag team, I think they're going to be a tag team. How about Chelsea Green and Tiffany Stratton?
Yeah, I like the pairing of them 2 and
It's a
Tiffany
lot of fun,
refusing to work
really
with
good.
Chelsea. Eventually, Chelsea's gonna get her way, it seems like. Um,
And it's all it's gonna do
yeah.
is it's gonna, like, because everybody loves Chelsea Green anyway, but, like, she is still technically a heel. It's gonna babyface Chelsea Green
Oh,
because, like, everyone's
absolutely.
like, "Oh my god, Tiffany, like, young, hot, blonde, successful, like, how can she be a babyface?" Except everybody loves her. Everybody already loves Chelsea Green. They will be a fantastic tag team, but I believe we've talked about it before on other podcasts. There's the booking that I want to see because ultimately Paige was a replacement for Nikki Bella because Nikki Bella was injured. It was supposed to be the Bella twins winning the titles at WrestleMania. Please gag me with a spoon.
Yeah.
The Bellas are going to turn on Paige at some point, and you're going to have a fight where the Bellas have one of the tag titles. Paige has one of the tag titles. So it's going to be Paige, go pick a partner. We'll decide who the tag team champions really are. And this is why I hope she drops the North American Championship because I think Paige picks Tatum Paxley as a partner, and they
Alright.
take on the Bellas.
That
And
would be awesome.
it's a new 2026 version of when the Bellas took on Paige and AJ Lee all those years ago at WrestleMania. Now, it won't be WrestleMania scale probably,
No,
but it's
but
a
it's
hell of a way
still
to bring up Tatum Paxley,
yeah.
and Paxley's already over. Paxley got herself over in NXT. Paxley got herself over in TNA. Paxley's over right now as the Women's North American Champion. She's great. She's as much as you say about her in the ring, you're still underrating her, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
Um, Paige isn't as much as I love her, Paige isn't what she used to be. Pax would carry the majority of the match. It'd be very easy to see how they would be character-wise, aesthetic-wise, and all that kind of thing. Am I putting the 2 hot goth chicks together? Yes. What do you want from my life?
What do you
Anybody who's listening
expect?
to this Anybody who's listening to this channel, the only other, tag team that would be more predictable than this would be, like, AJ Lee and Lita. Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, exactly,
But I
and,
would say tell the story of the Bellas turn on Paige, and Brie and Paige each have one of the tag titles, so they both pick a partner. Obviously, Brie picks her sister. Paige has to pick somebody. They do it that way. If you're not going to do it that way, if you're going to keep Paige and Brie as champions, The thrown together team of Chelsea and Tiffany would be a lot of fun. The most obvious, because they're already over in like 2 weeks, would be Fatal Influence eventually walking away with all the gold. We'll talk about that in
Yeah,
a second. Who you got?
absolutely. I'm gonna be that guy that just happens to say fatal influence. Like,
All right.
really, like that's I just can't deny the instant overness. Like, the people aren't booing them because they genuinely hate them. They're booing them because it's fun.
Because they're
And for
playing the
some
role that they're.
reason, people like they take the Dominic Mysterio stuff serious too. And I'm like, no, that's part of the live like gimmick. You know, these people are being chased in the parking lot. It's not real hate. Like,
They shouldn't be chased in the parking lot, by the way. Let's be clear about that.
mm, when I'm saying the celebrity status, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, it's not they're not being, sprayed in the eyes with pepper spray and hit with batteries on their way out of the arena, it's not real hate, it's all for fun.
Mhm.
And for them to get that kind of response right away, because the fans couldn't have cared and just sat on their hands. No, they vociferously vociferously
But they
booed
also
them.
they also took the message from WWE, and WWE gave you the message right away. How did they debut? They debuted by interrupting a match between Paige, Brie Bella, Charlotte Flair, and Alexa Bliss. And as much as I hate to admit it about Brie Bella, that's four big names. And then the same night, they came back out to get in the face of Rhea Ripley, who, I'm sorry for anybody that's upset when you hear about this, she's the biggest star you have in that division, and took her on the same night. And then the
I
very
wouldn't
next
I
week,
wouldn't
they're
even
in.
just say division. Like, Rhea's one of the top stars.
Oh, Rhea. Oh, full stop. Rhea Ripley in WWE. If you look at WWE right now, it's Roman, Cody, Punk, Rhea.
Yeah.
But I'm saying for the women's division specifically, I'm sorry. There are people in that division that I love to death and I want all the success for in the world. If you want to be called the biggest star in the world, go be a bigger star than Rhea Ripley. In if
Exactly.
you're talking about the women's division specifically. Now, when you start getting into Cody Rhodes, CM Punk, Roman Reigns conversation, then there's a conversation. I'm sorry, but there is a conversation to have at that point. But as far as the women's division, no, no.
Not at all. No one
I love
tops
Becky.
her.
I love Becky, but no. I love Jordan Grace, but no. I love Bailey. Oh my God, we need to do more with Bailey. But Bailey's in the AAA mix, which is also
Bailey keeps
fine.
talking about AEW, if you noticed, in interviews, and about
Mhm.
people she likes that are there and people
Oh, she
she's
wants
impressed
to
by. And
she wants to face Chris Statlander.
yes,
And it's funny because I find a whole lot of people don't enjoy Chris Statlander as much as I do in the ring.
I've always enjoyed her.
Character wise, I don't know what the fuck they're doing with her over there, but
Not
then
anymore.
it's
They
it's
had this cool little resurgence with her, no longer
yeah.
being alien
But I
centric
mean, but
focused,
I
but
mean, like, look, you can cut and paste that on any woman in AEW because if you're a fan of women's wrestling, why would you want any of your fans to go to AEW? We've said that before. Somebody put a post up, and I will be the first one to say, Triple H, if you get a chance to snap up Ember Moon and bring Ember Moon back up to WWE and you don't do it, you're a fucking moron. But they're putting stats out there right now, like all the fans, all the people with elite in their icon or whatever are putting up the look at Athena, she's so great, she's coming up on Roman Reigns's title record. Then why don't we fucking see her on TV?
why don't we hear about it?
She's in the women's Owen and she's there to eat a pin to somebody, probably Sasha Banks, who gets stuck in at the last minute.
Is she even
Uh,
I was gonna say, is she even announced yet? Is she even back?
I think she's in the
Mercedes?
Owen. I think Mercedes is coming back at some point and she's just gonna suck everything up and it's gonna be terrible and I'm gonna cry for everybody. Um, you know what's not gonna make me cry at all? Switching gears to SmackDown. Um, the SmackDown WWE Tag Team titles, which are right now on Priest and Truth, which is a fun little group. The whole like Truth's gonna rebuild the Judgment Day, uh, with the whole
Yeah,
delusional
it's
thing there.
funny, but
The
um
fact that Priest is there and he's got his buddy that's a bit nuts, but like, okay, we're still gonna go out there, we're still gonna win. Um, it's a thing for right now. It's not a thing forever. I'm gonna let you go first on this one. Who you think should snap up those tag titles? Because I don't think anybody's gonna predict the suggestion that I
this
have.
is
So why don't you?
not my own thought by any means. Con Man and others said it as well, but it was my, honestly, initial reaction to the Danhausen sketch the other night where he had the
Mm.
gigantic body and he's going to, have a
Oh,
Clonehausen again. Some people were like, that would be incredible if it was Omos with
yeah.
Danhausen makeup on. And I think that would be hilarious. But if they were able to have a big man like that to do it,
Mm.
or because they can't do somebody on the roster, real. I mean, maybe they could, but it would be better to have somebody.
Like when everybody said his mystery partner was gonna be like Royce Keys.
Yeah, why? So my not so serious answer, because you go from one comedy team to the next, essentially, because Damian Priest is in full comedy, but you get the idea with our truth.
Yeah,
Switch from because they get the titles. Our truth and plus one after Mania is kind of a common thing that happens. He and Miz had
yeah.
him before, and
But I do
so
like, and this is where we did our whole podcast on like the value and the star making power of the Judgment Day, right? The
yes,
existing relationship between Priest and Truth is such that yes, it's goofy, but also you can see that like big brother, little brother, yeah, he's goofy, but I'm still gonna have his back. Like
dynamic, yeah,
there's a seriousness to it and a niceness to it, even though it's goofy on the surface, which I don't think people give WWE enough credit for. Like, yeah, there's some things out there that's stupid that still do have meaning. And I think that
absolutely,
goes a little under the radar of like, A, oh, it's just our truth, don't take it seriously, and B, ha ha ha, look how far Damian Priest has fallen. Well, he's a champion, and your favorite probably isn't. Like, what are we
exactly.
doing?
Like, why are we
Um,
being foolish here?
so you're saying Danhausen and Omos?
Danhausen and his gigantic Clonehausen, I think, would be a lot of fun, especially because
Are you saying you want Omos to do whiteface?
yes, and I want him to full garb, curse people, like, all of it. I want him playing along
Omos cursing
110%.
people would be hysterical, I'm not gonna lie.
Exactly, like, I see this being amazing if they go full bore with it, so here's the deal, and here's what gets me. I really think they could do something fun, though, and eventually maybe
Mm,
Danhausen does take the titles, like, at a SummerSlam, if they were to get them on the hands of The Miz and Kit Wilson.
okay.
That's gonna be my real picks
Your
because
real pick is Miz and Kit?
yes, it legitimizes Kit, validates him as an in-ring competitor more because he keeps getting beat,
It's
and
some recognition
then
for the Miz as well for the like I say,
yes, he
the
gets to
role that he
say, "I
played.
led another person, I'm such a great
Yeah.
bountiful master," and that was the whole thing.
He's pulling a Jericho, he's got Kit Wilson under his learning tree.
Well, that's the thing, that's what Danhausen wanted from The
Cool.
Miz, was to be taught by him how to be a
When he
celebrity.
faked him out and said, "Okay, fine, I'm done with the curses, I will be your manager," and then they just beat him up.
Yes, so
I hate to say it, Danhausen is really good at getting beaten up.
he knows how to sell it, and I love that he doesn't quite disappear, like, there's all these silly
Oh,
things that are
yeah, the whole,
just
like
the
it's almost like his gimmick is almost like a failed circus.
yes, and that's what makes it super
I need him to
exciting.
show up. I need him to show up in AAA at some point and, like, come face to face with the Psycho Circus.
Ah,
Not even
it'll
Pagano and Psycho
happen.
Clown, but, like, Danhausen versus Murder Clown
Yeah,
would be a lot of fun. Here's
it'd
my
be
thing,
great.
right? I've brought the 2 worlds together a little bit because my option would be a little bit goofy, would be a little bit over the top, but would also involve some fantastic wrestling. Because we got one guy who's losing his mind in the back right now. He thinks everybody's against him. He's on the bridge of a true heel turn, even though people already can't stand him. He didn't quite get his
Mm,
way at WrestleMania in his quest to get the or to maintain the United States championship. Everybody's against him. Everybody's calling him entitled. He's taking crazy pills. He's very much doing what his buddy Kevin Owens would normally do. And another guy who's doing the opposite. He's not losing his mind at all. He's just lying down a lot.
mm,
But they've been together in the back quite a bit.
and Johnny's listening to Sammy bitch, and then every time he's
How
done, you kinda see Johnny move
roll
or
his eyes
his
a little
eyes
bit.
twitch
How
or
do we feel
something,
about a
so
tag team of for the NXT black and gold old heads out there? How do we feel about tag team champions Sami Zayn and Johnny Gargano?
I think it'd be a lot of fun.
I think the match okay, with all the silliness aside, Sami Zayn and Johnny Gargano versus Damian Priest and R-Truth would be a hell of a match.
Oh, absolutely.
It would be one of those matches that lets you forget how goofy R-Truth is and reminds you how great a wrestler he is, even though
Damn
he's just he's
Skippy.
just he's just cosplaying John Cena at this point, which is fine. His childhood hero, John Cena. R fuck it, why didn't I think about this until just now? R-Truth's gonna win the John Cena Classic, isn't he?
He could
That's
with the fan
that's gonna
vote.
be a thing. That's gonna be a thing, isn't it? Coming out there as Ron Cena, it's fine. I mean, R-Truth can always go off and do comedy stuff. Priest can I mean, he's not on my list, but he can get himself back in the US title mix or whatever. Zayn and Gargano as, like, 2 guys that are barely holding it together, holding each other together, could be a lot of fun. I don't
Yeah.
wanna see the MFTs because there's only 3 of them left anyway. I don't wanna see any other faction stuff.
The only thing that makes me worried about your thing is because Johnny said that when his contract's up next year, he's done. I mean, they have more than enough time to do the tag title thing now, certainly. But
Okay, so pull off this gimmick, and then when they drop the titles, that'll be, like, his last thing.
yeah,
But it
that
doesn't mean,
seems
like
to be
if
it.
you're retiring in a year or if you're leaving in a year, it doesn't mean you can't do something in that year. Like, not
Oh,
everybody is John Cena.
absolutely. That's what I'm saying. You don't have to hold them off TV. Just try
But, yeah, no,
and
I think because I don't know what, like if they hold them for a year and we're going into Saudi Mania next year, Johnny drops off just in time for Sami Zayn to get his head back together to get his title shot at WrestleMania.
maybe.
Because we've
I
all been saying, like, if they ever give Sami Zayn a proper WrestleMania moment, it's probably gonna be at Saudi Mania.
yeah.
Now, there's a separate conversation to have out there in the real world. There's a lot of shit going down. Is Saudi WrestleMania still happening? I'm pretty sure it still is.
It says
Um,
to be, and they're sold out for Night of Champions, and they even said, like, "Hey, if there is an issue, we have
but
enough fans
here's my
there that we don't need international travel, so we just have to get the talent there, and that's
yeah.
easier than worrying
Here's the thing
about
as well. Like,
fans traveling."
if they plan for Saudi Mania and they plan to give Sami Zayn his, finally he gets a maybe not even a main event, but a world title shot at WrestleMania because it's Saudi Mania, whatever. Do they pull that from him if they have to move the event? I don't think they do.
No, I don't
Like,
think so.
do they build the entire story and then all of a sudden pull it because of location? I don't think so. WWE's
I
done a
don't
lot of
think so
stupid shit,
either.
but I don't think because, like, that would mean you would have to come up with another story on the spot.
Yeah, exactly.
But anyways, I don't think let them have a title run as, like, these weird, like, insecure, unstable guys that are, like, feeding each other's paranoia almost. Candice LeRae can be the one waving her hands in the air. "Well, I don't know what to do with these guys, but now they've got the belts, and now I really don't know what to do with these guys."
Yeah,
Um, it'd be
exactly.
goofy, but the wrestling would be great. So there's both sides of that coin, and as we've said, the tag team ranks in WWE in general are running kind of dry. Maybe these guys, like even though they're not baby faces, they could be babyface enough to be challengers for Miz and Kit.
Yeah.
Um, but I don't know what you do from there.
Yeah.
We're gonna get into the US title in a second, but sooner or later, and I don't know whether it'll be for a good time or a long time, you're gonna get Trick and Mello back as a tag team at some point. Trick and Mello versus Zayn and Gargano would be a lot of fun.
Oh, absolutely.
But
I think
anyways, so
Trick and
that's
Mello is a good team, but Mello's on
they
this
are, yeah.
current solo
Mello's on this
escapade, it
Mello's
seems like,
yeah,
yeah.
Mello's on this trajectory at some point. But that brings us to the next conversation. The United States Championship currently held by Trick Williams, gonna be held by Trick Williams for a long time. I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it. I want the triple threat match based on what we saw last week on SmackDown because we saw Mello and Saints for the first time go one-on-one, throw the champion in the mix, throw the championship in the mix, um, get that title onto Saints, and then either because Trick and Mello are both babyface right now, let them be a tag team, throw them up against Zayn and Gargano, let Saints carry the US title. Trick is obviously going to be in the main title picture more than Carmelo is. But in the meantime, and in between time, you can get a whole lot of good tag team stuff out of them. And once he gets into the main event picture, you could have Mello by his side, like he was on Mello's side when Mello was the NXT champion.
Yeah. So I
But
don't want to just
right now specifically, I'm saying I want that triple threat. Like
I don't
Trick
want to
versus
just
Saints,
say
one on
ditto, but I really want Saints to win it. I think
yes.
that's the best thing to do down the line.
Trick versus Saints is the second match. Have the triple threat. Saints wins. Saints pins Mello to get the win, so you don't necessarily have to pin Trick right away. Then Trick gets his rematch. Saints beats him in the rematch because he's going in there as the challenger, maybe through scheming means or whatever. You get out of there twice with Saints getting 2 wins without Trick ever really taking a loss because obviously they're going to elevate Trick. Saints can go on
Yeah,
to
certainly.
fight whoever. Saints versus Ray Phoenix somewhere later on down the line for that title is an interesting thing that I want to take a look at. And it is another one of those like,
Yeah.
hey, triple
But like I
or
said, I don't wanna just piggyback off of you, but, I mean, it's that or give it to Mark Nash. No, really, I think this is a good idea. I think Saints takes it, and I like the way you laid it out, certainly.
here's the thing as well is because people are like, oh, what are they doing with Royce Keys? Well, Royce Keys was within a sniffing distance of getting a world title shot 3 days ago, so don't worry about that. Saints and Keys as Starks and Hobbs do have a history that they can lean on. Now imagine, okay, we go through all of this. Trick, Mello, Saints, triple threat. Saints pins Mello, gets the title without ever beating Trick. Trick gets his rematch. Trick loses because Saints has some like scheming means or whatever. The next person lined up to face Saints for that title is Ray Phoenix, who is fucking amazing. Watch him in AAA. He's doing some cool shit right now, but he's also one of the smallest guys on the roster. Imagine that being the point where Ricky Saints is like, the doubting heel. Don't know if I can take out this little guy, Ray Phoenix. Let me bring in my friend Royce Keys.
Yeah.
Or even like he brings out Royce Keys as his backing when Trick demands his rematch and Royce Keys just trucks him.
Yeah.
Because then you open up the door as well for somebody like Trick Williams, who has the following that Trick Williams has, who's a babyface without ever really being a babyface, because he's still a dickhead. He's just a dickhead that everybody loves.
Yeah.
Um, little side adventure called Trick Williams versus Royce Keys. Not even for the title, just as a we're gonna do this because we can. We're WWE. We're putting our dick on the table.
Mm.
All kinds of stuff. Don't make that sound when I say dick on the table.
Mm.
Trick Mellow
Yeah.
Gang versus the ex members of Team Taz. Yes, let's go.
Ta-da.
Let's go.
I like it, though. I
There's
do,
all
and
kinds.
they're a good
I like
team.
it
I
because
like
once
it.
because once Ray Phoenix picks up the U.S. title somewhere on down the line, then potentially Ricky Saints and Royce Keys are an interesting entrance into your tag team division as well.
Yes,
Let them
and
come out. Let them come out in all orange
we all like
because it'll
it,
be fun.
you
Because
know?
we're all petty here. We're all petty here. Okay, we've already talked about her once. Our current women's United States champion, Tiffany Stratton, who kind of just like won the title and hung out in the back for a little bit.
Yeah, and
Who
hasn't
is
really
our
done much.
I'll let you go first. Who is our next United States women's champion?
Ooh, so I wonder how long Piper Niven has left on the shelf because she's lost a ton of weight apparently, and what a cool story it could be with Chelsea, and the whole her and it's Tiffy time trying to work together. So then we go
Yeah,
ahead and get Piper comes back and surprises her and gets the title. I think it could be big.
I hadn't thought
Um,
of that honestly.
I think that would be something different and fun. But if we're not going that route, then honestly, I think Jordan Grace would be a good choice.
Okay, okay. I'm going to say because there's somebody else that I want to see elevated up into the main title picture. I would like to see Kiana James pick up that title
Absolutely. Both non tits.
as
She's been very
as a
impressive.
as a way as a way of separating herself from Julia, Julia being the former champion, Julia being the one I want to elevate into the main title picture. But Julia in story wants to get her title back. So what do they typically do when a main star has like a sidekick, which is what Kiana James is right now, unfortunately. Says, oh, okay, well, I'm gonna send my sidekick to beat you up, and when she beats you, that'll get me a title shot.
Yeah.
If Kiana James beats Tiffany Stratton on Julia's behalf, and Julia comes back out and says, well, okay, my sidekick just beat you, that means I get a title shot. And Tiffany Stratton says, no, she beat me. That means she gets a title shot, and that causes a rift between Kiana James and Julia. They split up. They have a match with each other, get that part of the story out of the way. Kiana James beats her former, I guess, boss because she was her like representative or whatever. Julia can move on to bigger things. Kiana James can then have, I don't know if you want to turn her face necessarily because she is great as a heel character, but a
Yeah.
little bit more of a respectful one-on-one match. They go round two, her and Tiffany Stratton, and she picks up that title. Kiana James is amazing, and they've kept her in this managerial, like, representative type role way too long. She went out on the Rumble and killed it. I think she had the longevity in the Rumble this year for the ladies.
Yeah. I'm pretty
Um,
sure.
get her away from Julia because I don't think it's doing anything for Julia. It's not doing anything for either. Use the US title to break them up. Kiana James can be the mid card champion, and Julia can aim higher. I wanted to tell a story where Io Sky comes over to SmackDown and mixes it up with Julia, and they all are in the US title picture together.
Yeah.
But if you do that, then somewhere down the line, you're gonna have to have a third Io Sky and Rhea Ripley breakup story where they get divorced for the third time. It's fine, don't worry about it. Um but yeah, Julia goes up the card. She's not on my thing for the women's championship, but she should be in the next 6 months or less in that title picture because Julia versus Rhea Ripley is something I want to see eventually. But more so, Kiana James has been killing it in the background. Let her start killing it in the foreground. And Tiffany Stratton is a former women's world champion anyway. Her losing the US title isn't going to hurt her in the slightest. Kiana James, put a rocket on Kiana James, maybe
Yeah.
2, so the things stay even. Uh,
You don't want the gravity to take
you're
over.
saying Jordan Grace.
Yeah, I like Jordan Grace,
Okay,
but I do like your answer as well. So,
okay. I'm kind of using these titles as an excuse to restructure the roster as well. So
yeah,
maybe I am the sinister evil villain known as Devious Plots.
you
That's
y
not a thing. Anyway,
no, but you had the forethought of that one.
four thought, five thought, six thought, like Sasha
Ah,
Banks with the five head. Um, we've already talked about her. Biggest star in your women's division, Rhea Ripley. She's got a world title. It's fucking awesome. Lots of people are mad. It makes me happy. Um, you've mentioned Jordan Grace. Jordan Grace, Rhea Ripley is a match that I want to see. Other side of that coin, the one who's holding that title next is JC Jane.
yeah.
They were willing
Um,
to restructure all the booking on SmackDown after JC Jane had been there for 2 weeks.
it seems like, yeah, that's gonna be the plan, and I'm not hating it.
I love JC Jane. I love somebody, and she did. It was kind of her story in kayfabe on NXT, where she kind of walked up, got the title, owned it, even though they had all these other big names, even though they just hired Julia, Stephanie Vaquer, Jordan Grace, Zarya, all these big stars come in, and one of them was going to be the next champion soon. Just watch, just watch. And then she got it instead, and then she got to hold it over everybody. You guys didn't think I was going to do this, and I'm going to do it, and I'm going to hold on to it. She took
Yeah.
that attitude into SmackDown and basically had a kind of like I say in a very, very different way with Lola Vice. That whole wherever I walk in is mine. This whole attitude that she's walked into SmackDown with this SmackDown was mine before I even got here
Yeah.
attitude, and it's rubbing off on Fallon Henley and Lainey Reed as well. Lainey Reed sneaking into Fatal Influence at the last minute on NXT there. You know, sailed under a falling star and just has impressed as member number 3. Let's be real, because Jasmine Nix was the number 3 as well before, when it was basically JC Jane, Fallon Henley, and plus one.
Yeah.
Fallon Henley is another one that I could slide into the US title mix as well, but I think in the early days, at least, they're gonna be more into that tag team scenario.
Absolutely.
Jacy Jayne's fantastic. Jacy Jayne has already gone face to face with Rhea Ripley, didn't look a lick out of place, but I do wanna see the big beefy women slapping women meet match with her and Jordynne Grace as well.
Yeah,
If
I
Zarya
mean,
was on the main roster, throw her in there as well, just because it would be a lot of fun. Jordynne Grace, I wanna see the match. She's not winning.
she's
I love
not
Jordynne
winning.
Grace.
She should be, but
I love
that's
Jordynne
the
Grace, she's not. Yeah.
anti-transformative thinking that gets us the casting of Chris Pratt as Rosa Parks. You know what I'm saying? Like, we need to change things, not uh, I don't know, like,
That
she
just broke my
should
brain a
be
little bit.
Rhea, right? Right? But when you think about it, get to the back of
Yeah.
the bus.
Mhm.
Um, it's just a forever connected kind of thing, but it's unfortunate.
Mhm.
So,
I don't
uh,
I don't think if you have Jordynne Grace, you know, like the ship against the rocks, right up against Rhea Ripley, they have a solid match. They beat the ever loving tar out of each other, and Rhea Ripley just comes out on top because I'm sorry, right now, Rhea Ripley is bigger than Jordynne Grace. Jordynne Grace will get there. I have all the faith in the world in Jordynne Grace. I am not hurt by the feeling that she didn't walk on to SmackDown and pick up a belt right. I'm
yeah,
really not. She's gonna build herself up. She will build herself up as the monster that takes the belt off Jacy Jayne eventually. She will be the one that takes on Fatal Influence 3-on-1 and comes out thriving.
you
She's
can't
not the
have
one that's she's not the
yeah,
one that she's not the one that's gonna beat Rhea Ripley one-on-one in a main event scenario. It's just not, and that's not
not
anything
yet,
against
yeah.
Jordynne Grace, but that's just where Rhea Ripley is right now. Rhea Ripley's going to lose a title in a situation where she is 3-on-1, and they really, really heavily lean on the story that, her friend Io that she broke up with twice is on Raw. Who would back up Rhea Ripley? The only backup she has is Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, which we know that's a tentative relationship. They always remind us that it's a tentative relationship. Maybe things blow off between her and Charlotte Flair, and Charlotte says, "All right, go fuck yourself." And the 3-on-1 stays a 3-on-1, and that's how you get the belt. That's how you get all the fucking heat on Jacy Jayne as if she needs it.
Yeah.
And Jacy Jayne is gonna walk around. She's gonna be like anybody that ever beat John Cena. This belt halfway means I'm a champion. Halfway means I'm the one that beat Rhea Ripley.
They can't make everyone a Terminator come up undefeated and do these
No,
things, you know, like, that's
no.
the point here, but what are
And
you
that's
gonna
what they
do?
said, like, everybody's mad that Jordynne Grace hasn't been the juggernaut. First of all, in real life, let's be humans for a second. Jordynne Grace has been dealing with, like, several injuries, to the point where, A, you don't wanna put the pressure on her of holding up the main event while she's dealing with nagging injuries, but also, you can understand WWE saying, "Hey, let's hold off. Let's show everybody that you're a fucking killer, and
Yeah.
then when we know you're 100%, we will put the weight on your shoulders of being the killer that's also the champion." I think everybody wins in that scenario, and in the meantime, take the hot hand, which is
Yeah.
Jacy Jayne adopting the Dominic Mysterio levels of heat that she got practically on day 1, fire that off while it's hot, and then, yeah, they'll run the division for a while. Everybody will get sick of them because they're the kind of characters you're supposed to get sick of. Jordynne Grace comes in as the conquering hero that topples them all over like a bowling ball. Everybody wins.
Uh, yeah.
Everybody wins.
Everybody wins.
Unfortunately, I'm not thinking about anybody else in the division, which I'm sure I'm forgetting somebody. Um, I don't think it happens anytime soon, but does Paige get a singles run with either singles title?
Yeah. I mean,
I don't necessarily think she has to,
no, but
because you can go into a pay-per-view with some other young talent like a Tatum Paxton, whatever. It's like, okay, I don't have a title match at the next upcoming pay-per-view, but I've got the Paige match.
yeah.
I'm not comparing Paige to The Undertaker, I'm really not. But, like, you could go to WrestleMania and it's like, okay, I don't have a title match, but I've got The Undertaker match this year. Start start treat
Exactly.
start treating some of your, like, more, I don't wanna say older because she's not older, but, like, the more established, like, veteran talents like that. Like, okay, when Roman's not the champion anymore, which we're gonna talk about in a second, you can still go into a pay-per-view and be like, "Look, I didn't necessarily have a world title match on my card tonight, but I got to go face to face with Roman Reigns."
Yeah.
It's the good version of we need some more John Cenas. We don't have John Cena anymore. I'm
And
making
and
wild comparisons, but I hope people out there get my point.
I hope so too, because, I mean, it's accurate still.
Yeah.
Just leave my AAA out of it.
Mr. Iguana is going to be the new
He's got an
Mr. Iguana's
iguana.
Mr. Iguana's gonna win the John Cena Classic. He's gonna get the John Cena belt, and he's gonna get a mini John Cena belt for Leyeska. It's good times. It's good times. It's good
Now we're
times.
thinking.
All right, let's talk about where I'm not gonna get my way. Current men's champion Cody Rhodes. You go
Yeah,
first.
exactly. Boy, oh boy. So, I would like to say they eventually course correct and give it to Matt Cardona. No, they give it to Royce Keys, because
Okay.
I would, if in a perfect universe, it would be Randy Orton probably at SummerSlam. I think Cody holds on to it till then. Randy's supposed to return soon-ish in the next, like, 2 weeks, and maybe they start building that back up and Randy finally gets his next win, but, I would love to see personally Royce get it and build a whole new star.
Okay.
I feel like Royce has been at it enough. He doesn't need the mid-card belt. You could just build him from there.
All right. I'll tell you what I think we're gonna get because I'm not gonna get what I want. You want to rocket strap somebody. Royce Keys is an excellent opportunity, but judging by what we saw on SmackDown, WWE is telling you right now, one day he's going to be a world title contender, but it's not right now. That's what
Yeah.
I got out of last week's SmackDown. We want to tell you that he's good enough to be in that conversation and keep that in the back of your mind for when we do it, but it's not right now. Who is right now is somebody that we've already talked a whole lot about who's got to drop his US title eventually. Take the
Yeah.
gamble, take the gamble and strap up Trick Williams.
Okay.
He's hot right now. He is on SmackDown. He is their male equivalent of JC Jane, and he's done more to establish himself because he's been there longer than JC.
Yeah.
Everybody's with him. He survived the goofy gimmicks. He's gone over some big talent already. He's picked up a title already. He's got little Yachty in his corner for whatever the fuck that means for anything. Strap him up because I'm not going to get what I want.
Yeah. I
What
would
I
love to
want,
see Trick get it, and that would be fantastic too,
okay,
but
that would be a great consolation prize for me not getting what I want. Because
yeah.
the more I look at it, the more they tease it, and they even teased it the night after WrestleMania, and they teased it with the Paul Heyman involvement as well. Keep the belt on Cody until next year's WrestleMania. And at next year's WrestleMania, I don't care that it's in Saudi. Give me the match that I want. Give me the match that I need. We've drafted Jacob Fatu to Raw, and in exchange, we've drafted CM Punk to SmackDown. CM Punk wins the Royal Rumble. CM Punk goes to WrestleMania. CM Punk, not for the Seth belt, for the real belt, in the main event against Cody Rhodes. I need my fuck AEW match, and that's going to be my answer for anytime anybody asks me who needs to dethrone Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes has right now the pressure of being the good guy who stays the good guy, who says, I'm a good guy, but don't push me because I'll still fuck you up. CM Punk is the guy that got himself all the way to the dance, all the way to the main event of WrestleMania, the real main event of WrestleMania, and lost the other title.
Yeah.
And the only thing he's got left to bring himself back up is to go for the real title against the quarterback, against QB1, for the real title, for the WWE title in the main event of WrestleMania Night 2. It has to be Punk. It's not going to be Punk. That's why I'm saying let's give me a happy little success story with Trick Williams, because I don't want to say little because it'll be monstrous. The rocket strap that they would have to put on Trick Williams to say, yeah, you're going to go to a major paper, maybe WrestleMania, maybe not, and you're going to beat our talisman, our hood ornament, our our trophy guy, Cody Rhodes, for the real WWE title, and we're putting it on Trick. Like
Yeah,
that's rock level push. And that's my
exactly.
consolation prize because Cody Rhodes versus CM Punk is the biggest match we can do in the company. I'm all for pushing new people. I'm all for pushing new stuff and the younger generation and all that stuff that we have praised them so much about. It's the entire reason NXT exists. And 99% of my wrestling brain goes towards all of that.
Yeah,
But Cody
no
Rhodes
doubt
versus
about
CM
it.
Punk in the main event of WrestleMania for the real WWE title is the biggest match they have. And I need to see it. And because of that, this is why I say Trick is like a consolation prize. Anybody that says to me, "What's next for Cody?" My answer is going to be Punk. Anybody that says to me, "What's next for Punk?" The answer is going to be Cody. And right now, where they are with the struggles that Cody Rhodes has had as a character, with the downfall of CM Punk in at WrestleMania in the main event, where the lights shine the brightest, and he fell down to the tribal chief. His
Yeah,
retribution is not going back and beating Roman Reigns in a rematch. His retribution is go for an even bigger title. Go for the guy that has already beaten Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. And you know what? It is the one chance, it is the one time that I will say, I don't fucking care if it's happening in Saudi Arabia. I don't
I
care.
don't care either.
I,
I don't
I
care
will
where it
care
is.
I will care when we get to that WrestleMania. I will care. We will have that conversation. Should it be happening at Saudi? Should it not be? Are there safety concerns? Are there political concerns? Let's take everybody's feelings into account. Even when we talk about the rest of the card, even when we talk about maybe Sami Zayn is going to be the one to beat Roman Reigns. And it's weird that it's in Saudi Arabia, but it's also kind of cool for Sami that it's in Saudi Arabia. We will have those we will apply that context, and I don't you're probably the same as me, I don't want to speak for you. We will apply that context to just about everything else. Everything else is going to have that little SA over the top of it when we talk about it.
Yeah.
This is I don't care. This is the biggest match WWE can give us. And I defy anybody out there to come up with a bigger match that WWE can give us right now. And I'm not saying, oh, well, what if they get so and so? I'm not saying, okay, yes, if they sign Kenny Omega next week, do I want to see Kenny Omega versus Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania? Yes, because it would be hilarious. But I'm saying right now, today, as we're recording on May 17th, 2026, the
Yeah.
world could change tomorrow. The biggest thing WWE can give us is Cody Rhodes, CM Punk, WWE Championship, main event of WrestleMania Night 2.
Yeah. I
There's not gonna be
agree.
any
There
there's not
is
gonna
no
be
bigger
any other
match.
there's not gonna be any other answer from me until I get that match. But because I don't think I'm going to get that match, and the purposes of this, are sort of look to the future, sort of, foster some new stuff or whatever, my other suggestion outside of that is Trick Williams.
Yeah.
I see where you're going with Royce Keys. I picked Trick Williams for the same reasons, and the reasons are a
Yes.
little stronger with him at the
I
moment.
I just feel like they're not gonna do the damn Punk thing, you know? I want them to. They've teased it so many times. I don't have faith. It's the one thing that they've teased so many times that we all want so much.
The fact that the two promos went together, right after WrestleMania, Cody had the promo with Punk, and where they kind of like shined each other up and rubbed each other the wrong way at the same time. Pause. And it all ended with, Punk, just tell me when. We have heard that Punk is taking some time, not necessarily some time off, but like scheduling has been such that he's going to miss the majority of the European tour. He's going to be on the Raw in London, and that's about it, as far as I know. So scheduling, I guess he's got some time off. I know they've said AJ is gone for now, so
Yeah.
maybe they're doing some other stuff. CM Punk was at the Ronda Rousey Gina
Great to see
Carano
him. He
fight.
knows what he's
Great.
talking about.
He knows what he's talking about. He kind of made a joke about like, "Ah, I've dabbled in a little bit of commentary, etc." Um, But, I mean, if you blink, you missed that main event. They did it in 1 less second than Sheamus beating Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania. I just realized that. Because wasn't it Sheamus, Daniel Bryan, 18 seconds? Ronda Rousey, Gina Carano, 17 seconds.
Yeah, exactly.
So it was
So,
cool to see him there, but, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that, but yeah, Punk,
but hey, we all know time-wise what's going on.
but yeah, no, sorry, that's where I was going. Sorry, I just lost my train of thought. When he did the, "Hey, Punk, whenever you're ready," when Punk shows back up, it's gonna be on SmackDown, and he's gonna be saying, "Hey, fucker, I'm ready." But
Yeah.
also but also, when they set up the whole thing with Paul Heyman and Gunther and Cody, and Paul Heyman went out of his way to say, like, "I'm not his advocate. I owed him a favor. This is the favor. The favor's done." And how did that promo end? "Hey, Cody, sooner or later, everybody needs a wise man."
Yeah, and it
So
happens,
Punk
and
Punk looking for validation, Cody trying to maintain his baby faceness, and maybe potentially Paul Heyman being the little devil on his shoulder. Babyface looking for redemption, pissed off CM Punk versus Cody Rhodes slipping into the dark side, finally with Paul Heyman on his shoulder, which ties into CM Punk.
yeah,
This is the exact I've always wanted the match. Since they were back in WWE, I've always said, "Yeah, wouldn't it be a great fuck off to AEW to give them this match? Because this is the match that AEW could have." And I'm sorry, if AEW gave you this match, it would have been the biggest match they gave you as well. But right
exactly,
now,
so
where we are right now, putting all the petty, tribal stuff aside, it's exactly this Punk and exactly this Cody that I need to
yeah,
see.
and it might not happen with that. My thing with Orton, because, we hear that obviously we know now it's confirmed, but he's been out since Mania, and they didn't give him the belt because of the back issue, so
Well, because the belt was supposed to go to Pat.
yeah, no
Pat
doubt
was
about it, but
Pat was secretly in the, gingerbread man costume.
that too.
That's
Hey,
what
we
we need
got
to
we
do
we got a
because
moratorium on that now, you know?
because the gingerbread man was, like, all, like, stitched up Frankenstein style for the funeral thing. What if the thing that Danhausen is bringing back to life is the gingerbread man?
Now that would be
That's a lot of
something.
fun. And then they would have to take on Sammy and Johnny Gargano, and
Now
Sammy would be
you're
like,
cooking.
"I can't escape it."
And you look at AEW, they have 41 ex-WWE stars, 6 of which are former world champs, and only 3 have ever headlined Mania. Top
Mm.
guys don't go to AEW, so the difference in pay for mid-carders jumping ship is small. You get a little bit more money, but you're not getting a good investment, and we see it again and again. We
It's also
just
better if
keep
you step into
getting
an arena and
big
there's people there.
names.
Anyways, speaking of people actually being there, let's go to Raw. Let's start with the Raw Tag Team Champions, the Vision of Austin Theory, sorry. I was about to say Austin Aries because reasons. But Austin Theory and Logan Paul, current Raw World Tag Team Champions. Apparently, Jake Paul's not allowed to come to WWE events to see his brother wrestle. Have you heard about this? Have you
Yeah,
seen this? Have you heard about this?
yeah.
Is this something? Is this anything? That's okay.
I
He's too busy promoting his own shows. Don't
I
worry
guess
about it.
so, but
Here's the thing, right? Because a lot of people would say the Usos, and I'm saying no because of the whole faction thing I was talking about. A lot of people want it to be the Street Profits who just kind of showed up and said, "Hey, we'd like to be champions now, thanks." Much to the chagrin of everybody when Austin Theory was like, "I guess Montez had to come back to work because Bianca ain't getting a paycheck,"
yeah.
which is great. Um, Viking Raiders are going for AAA tag team titles right now, but that brings me to AAA. That brings me to the mask versus mask match happening at Noche de los Grandes. Yeah, there we go.
Yes.
I remembered the name of that. So I'm presuming that Gable's going to get unmasked, which means that the Creed brothers, who had their intentionally really bad lucha masks the other week, are
Yes.
also going to be. and maybe like the fake butch Americanos is not going to be a thing anymore. Get them away from Chad Gable and give me Austin Theory and Logan Paul versus the Creed brothers, just as the Creed brothers.
Yeah. I mean,
That's my pick. I would see the Usos if they weren't doing more bloodline stuff. I'd be fine with the Street Profits because I mean the Street Profits versus the Creeds would also be a lot of fun. I know that Logan Paul eventually is going into this like long-term feud with what's his name? Joe Hendry.
yeah.
I don't know how well that's going to go, if I'm honest. Even Jake Paul singing the Fire Logan Paul stuff to Logan Paul online is ridiculously funny.
Yeah. I mean,
But
there's another one. I
yeah,
mean, what do they do with Hendry in the long term? And as we head into the Raw side of things, we'll talk more about
Joe
it.
Hendry
But
could be Danhausen's. we're just playing who could be Danhausen's partner again. Could be Joe
yeah,
Hendry. That'd be a lot of fun.
hmm yeah. I
Very
mean,
nice. Say my name and evil tears. No, it doesn't work. None of it works. I'd say the Creeds just because the Creeds are a lot of fun when they get going, and they haven't really had a chance to get going very much. And that's it. Also, the Vision potentially have Maxine Dupree with them now.
yeah,
Have you seen this? Have you heard about this?
yes. She's been in the
He's sitting in the
car.
sitting in the car. She's in the back seat. We don't need to worry about that.
So while you bring them up in the Raw side of things, who do we think is going to take the titles from them?
From the
Who's the
Vision.
next?
Yeah, I'm saying the Creeds.
You're saying the Creeds? That's your
I'm saying the
final
Creeds.
guess. You're
I would
really
love it.
saying the Creeds?
I am.
Come on. I was trying to restart to give you another chance to pick an actual team. No, I
They
would
are
like to
good.
see them do something with the Creeds. I'm just trying to give you shit, but it's unfortunate because
Why?
they've
Who are you thinking?
that's the problem. There's so many non-teams anymore, and I don't want to just pair random people together at all times.
Yeah, I don't
I,
want to do it because my suggestion was specifically that on SmackDown.
yeah,
I don't want to have one show copy the other. If I wasn't doing that, then I'd be okay with a.
yeah, and like you said, there's just such a lack of teams. Do we have Rayo and Bravo take the tag titles? I mean,
I mean, we do have Tozawa and Otis. That's fine.
Asian Tucker.
Um,
Yeah.
I
Um,
mean, if they're not
who
going to
who
belt
could
up
we pair up? Sheamus and Rusev, maybe. Rusev and Ethan Page worked well together.
the okay, I'm not saying this, but the LWO guys technically are on Raw.
Yeah.
Actually, well, both the LWO guys and the former Legato guys are all like we saw Berto and Angel and how well they did this week on Raw. If they're not gonna belt up Breaker right away, which I don't think they are, revisit the idea of Breaker and Reed,
Yes.
but that's heel on heel, and that's within
That's
their own faction even.
yeah.
Um,
So they would have to get the belts off of them, and that's why the Creed brothers kind of work because it could be fun if you actually put a little bit of time into them, but
and here's the thing. Here's the
all the
thing,
El
and
Grande stuff and them being more luchadors and more Americanos, it just got exhausting. So
I would
Brutus and
say
Julius, I don't
I
know.
would say the Lucha Brothers, if Penta wasn't currently the IC champion and Ray Phoenix wasn't currently going for the cruiserweight title, and they weren't establishing themselves so well as separate guys. We had that group for a little bit with Ray Mysterio, where it was like Ray, Penta, and Dragon Lee. So do you go sideways and go Dragon Lee and Ray Mysterio? Could be fun.
Maybe could be
What?
fun. What
What?
about Dominic and JD instead of using Finn?
Uh,
I'm not thrilled with it, but
I'm not. I don't love it. I'm
yeah,
not saying things aren't I'm not saying things aren't thin on the ground. If the unmasking that happens at Noche de los Grandes ends up with, you know, the real El Grande Americano wins and Gable gets unmasked and the Creeds get unmasked, but it causes El Grande to like separate from Los Americanos and we get Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne back, Is that a thing? I don't know. Um, I think it's kind of funny that Los Americanos in a match on Raw gets more attention than Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate on Raw,
Ever did? Yeah,
even though they're the same people.
unfortunately.
It's
Yeah,
weird.
I don't know who
It's
else they
funny that
could
El Grande
really.
Americano and Ludwig Kaiser are both listed on the Raw roster.
Right. Eric and Ivar are back. We obviously saw them in AAA.
Yeah,
I
but they're
think
again, they're going for AAA titles.
yes. So that hinders that. Javon has had an interesting team up with Penta, but like you said, he's the IC champ.
Who'd
I that's
you
why I said
okay,
I was joking about the Creed brothers, but they're the only ones that like I don't want LA Knight to team up with someone like a Javon. Like I don't want to see that at
who
this point.
who
But
here's something, right? Because
why they
I
need
don't
to
wanna
unify the tag titles, my friend.
I don't wanna I kinda don't wanna say this because we're, like, almost piggybacking on the New Day leaving WWE. Is there somebody out there right now that could team up with Grayson Waller and make, like, a decent dickhead tag team?
Mm, it could be good.
I don't wanna see this because I wanna see him as a singles guy, but Grayson Waller, Ethan Page as a tag team?
Yeah.
Maybe? Maybe, I don't know. Or the Vision kick out Austin Theory and the new tag champs are Logan Paul and Grayson Waller, because I think that would be more entertaining. Because I like Austin Theory, I think he's way underrated in the ring, but I don't think he's quite as good at being obnoxious as Paul Heyman and Logan Paul and Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed are. He's
Yeah.
like the straight man of a comedy group, except it's not a comedy group. I don't know. This is kind of a it's kind of a no-go zone, which is why I said, like, we haven't seen anything from the Creeds. Why not use this as an opportunity to reintroduce the Creeds? Because when they get going, especially when they were, you remember Veer and Shanky or whoever, whatever the names were on NXT when they had the big man matches with the Creeds, and they kind of had that style where it was like almost, are you guys being really unsafe? Is that happening? Is that not happening when they did all the airborne, what do you want, like airborne big guy stuff with the
Yeah.
Brutus, the tag team Brutus ball and stuff like that?
Mhm.
Them doing that to the Vision would just get them over because people hate the Vision. And if you don't have a thriving roster, then use that sort of free hit to reheat somebody that you haven't heated up in a while. And when all the Grande versus Grande stuff is over at AAA, some people are going to need to land somewhere else,
Yeah.
and you give them a running start if they're the ones that took out the. I
So,
don't know.
you
That's all.
kinda
Like I
convinced me
don't.
with the Creeds, and the more I think about everything, uh,
It's not
I
the most
just
exciting part of the conversation.
yeah. I wish I had a better comeback for it, but there's just so few teams and nobody's teeth to scrape it off of. Yeah, they've ruined tag team wrestling pretty badly in a lot of spots, and that's why AAA is fun with what they're doing, like, the Clown and
Oh,
Pagano are fighting each other, but still
speaking
competing,
of
and yeah.
speaking of AAA, if they can, if we do start doing call ups from AAA, get Money Machine on Raw.
Yeah,
They're a
that
lot of fun.
they're a great,
Uh,
great fun
what are
tag
they?
team.
Because it's silver and gold. It's like Plata and Aura.
Mhm.
They're a lot of fun.
Why not go ahead and unify the damn titles, though? They don't have enough teams. Do what they do with the women's tag and make it simple.
It's
That's
good.
really that's what needs to happen.
Bring up the Psycho Circus, and oh, by the way, we were only kidding. The Wyatt Six are still here, and just do the circus brawl from AAA on like an episode of SmackDown or Raw.
Dexter Lumis shaved off all the, dreadlocks and
Mm,
apparently shaved his beard and all of that. Indy Hartwell gives him the razor to do it, and he's supposedly, allegedly
yes.
coming to TNA to return with
Well,
Indy.
she just
So,
re-signed her deal, so that's kind
yes,
of cool.
allegedly he's coming, but it said
I only say
7/26.
that's a bummer, right? Because even if you even if you didn't like the Wyatt 6 stuff, right? And I get we had that conversation, like, creepy
Yeah.
gimmicks aren't for everybody. The one cool thing that we did get out of that from a wrestling perspective was Gacy and Dexter were a really good solid tag team,
Yes.
and they were a lot of fun to watch. Like, even I don't wanna say, like, fire Bo Dallas or anything like that, but even if you fired, like, Bo Dallas and Redbeard and Nikki, the 2 of them as a tag team were awesome.
Yeah, they
Like,
still had Joe Gacy was money with his facial expressions and Dexter's
really
lack
good
thereof.
mobile big men. They had great tandem offense and all that kind of thing.
I
I
think
don't know.
Sam
It's
Shaw
it's a
might be
bummer.
making a return if they don't allow the Dexter name to go forward, we'll see, but
We'll see. Um, I mean, the Wyatts mixing it up with the Broken Hardys and the Righteous and Rosemary and the Undead Realm and all that. It's kinda made for TNA.
it is, and it fits perfect, and the
I wish
fans
they were gonna
there
take them.
would
Yeah.
yeah,
I wish they
if
were gonna take
only
them wholesale, but
it would have been
anyways,
nice.
let's move on
So
to something that's a little more fun. We got one title picture here that's kind of been like a rotating circle of awesome people, but like also Miro's there for some reason.
mm,
So I'm gonna go nice and quick on this one. The next IC champion after Penta, who's doing an awesome job in his own right, by the way. Every week they just give him more and more pyro. Um, Next IC champion is either gonna be Javon Evans or Ethan Page, and
I'm
that
going
one
Ethan
seems pretty.
Page all the way, all ego. You know how high I am on him, and I mean high. I love me some Ethan Page. He's like one of the best outside of the company too, because he's like
Yep.
an MJF in the sense of he never loses the sarcasm, the role, the presence, the character, all of it stays through. But yet
Mhm.
he's still enjoyable,
He's still a good
endearing, and
spokesperson for the company, yeah.
yes, like he's being a dick to you, but you can tell it's in good jest and fun.
Mm.
So
He's bringing you into the fun, he's not digging
yes,
at
it's
you.
like MJF screaming at a baby. Like you're like, you guy's not seriously upset that the baby's crying, but he's being hyperbolic. Yeah, the whole thing, you get it. So
Remember when Punk
Page
was
is
in
great.
AEW and somebody threw a baby at him?
Yeah, just here. This is yours.
I don't have any other way to express how happy I am that you're here. Have a baby.
And they were throwing babies in the air. Literally, I remember Cornette covering that.
Can love wrestling sometimes. Is it as simple as Penta drops the belt, Penta goes and possibly does some Lucha Brother stuff, and the belt stays on Raw, and they basically redo Ethan and Javon from NXT?
Yeah, break my jaw, break your title kind of thing. I love it and sign me up.
Mm. Do the same thing on a bigger stage because it was awesome. I
Yeah,
still love the story that Ethan told about, like, not wanting to do the jaw spot because he was worried about hurting Javon, and Shawn Michaels put his own head in the chair and said, "Here, practice on me."
yeah, stomp
Like,
my face in.
on the one hand, that's awesome. On the other hand, if you're Ethan Page, you're gonna shit your pants.
No doubt about it. But and
I haven't
Sean
gotten
sold
around
it like
to
he got hurt too. It was that
I haven't got
documentary was basically the resurrecting of the good guy, Shawn Michaels. Like everyone was like, yeah, he was a dick, but he got better, and
mm.
they Cornette was the only one to
But you
be
know what?
like, well, I only knew
If you don't
asshole
have that
Sean.
yeah, if you don't have that, like, "Hey, he was a dick and now he's not," then what motivation or inspiration does anybody have right now who's a dick, who's thinking about being better, if you're telling them, yeah, even if you do better now, nobody's going to accept it? Like, you kind of have to go in that direction, don't you?
Mhm.
With people. And
Absolutely.
I'm not saying for everybody. I'm saying, like, if you were, like, rude to your coworker. I'm not saying, like, you walked across a schoolyard and decided to stab somebody. Then you go in a hole. But if you were just a dickhead to somebody in your workplace, like, okay, I was a dickhead. Sorry, I was a dickhead. Now I'm not a dickhead anymore. Hey, that guy used to be a dickhead. Now he's not a dickhead anymore. Isn't that fucking great?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. So,
what are we doing? Um, but yeah, like, the IC title seems pretty simple, honestly, like Penta to Ethan to possibly Javon.
yeah.
I'm gonna go once again if to the TNA side of things. If we do manage to get Leon Slater, and I'm not advocating for, like, let's just go to TNA and poach all their talent because that's what AEW does. But there's 2 that I would love to see. One of them is Mike Santana, that's an entirely separate conversation. The other one is Leon Slater, and I think if we get Leon Slater, I don't think you put him in NXT, you link him back up with Javon Evans, and you got another kick-ass tag team on your hands.
Yeah, exactly.
But in the meantime, Javon Evans as Intercontinental Champion doesn't hurt my feelings whatsoever. Not much else to say. That one seems pretty cut and dry. So does the following one, to me anyway. Women's Intercontinental Champion Becky Lynch. That title's going to Sol Ruka, isn't it?
Yes. Uh,
Cool.
I wouldn't hate Sol Ruka, but I prefer it to be Io. I know she didn't
Hmm,
I knew
okay.
she won the big title before, and Sol would be the better choice, but I feel like Io's been overlooked so many times
Okay.
and has had so many instances where like, "Hey, you're here, you're part of the group," kinda thing. So, I would like to see some more recognition, and I'm glad that she beat
Yeah.
Sol. So you think she would take the title and then maybe Sol beats her, but still,
The
regardless, it is a maybe do a triple threat thing, and that would be even better.
the problem with that, and I love the Io Sol Ruka match we got on Raw this week. And I do think it would be cool to see Io mixing it up with some different people. The problem is you've already in storyline put out that mentality of like Io Janetti
Yeah,
between
which
like
I'm trying to
her breaking up
break,
with
but
Rhea.
yeah.
So if here's a tag team and they're supposedly on equal footing, and they are on equal footing because we've said a lot about Rhea Ripley, but Io Sky's right up there as far as ability and popularity and all that kind of thing, right? If they split up and one of them grabs a world title and one of them grabs an IC title, you're kind of reinforcing that Janetti thing that we've already put out there in the ether. If
Yeah,
they
you're not
hadn't done
wrong.
it if they hadn't done it on screen, I wouldn't say that because it wouldn't be an idea that's already there, but they've done it now, and we're gonna have a heel say, "You're not quite as good as your partner." But now we're gonna book you for a title that kind of is the silver medal, and the silver medal serves a purpose, don't get me wrong. It's very much I like I say with Becky, it's very much the way that she went down to NXT and won the NXT title and started defending it on Raw. That was the prototype for them doing the women's mid card titles on the main
Yeah,
roster. I have to
exactly.
believe, right? So she's been the prototype for it in that regard. But you wouldn't want Io Sky and Becky Lynch fighting over an NXT title on Monday Night Raw.
No,
And
certainly not,
this is
and
the
I
next
feel
this
like
is the
Becky
next generation
elevated
booking
it
that.
in a way, so it's
Oh, of
got
course she
less of that
Becky
Janetti
Lynch is fucking
feel,
amazing.
but you're not wrong there, certainly, it is a step back overall, and that's kind of the thing, like, you're not wrong, so, I mean, but Io taking the main title, I just don't see that happening right now.
Okay.
With
I think it's
Liv
gonna be Soul. I think it's gonna be Soul. Becky has made it her thing to put everybody over from NXT. She's done it with Lyra. She did it with Maxine. She did it with Tiffany when she went down to NXT. Um, this is like she's a better talent builder. How can I say this? She's a main eventer. She's a solidified main eventer,
yeah,
but I think she's even better at making other people like feel like they belong up there with her than just going out there and like killing people.
yeah.
If that makes any sense, and that's
No,
not
it
a
makes
bad
sense.
thing. That's a
See, I was
it's
just
kinda like
more set on Soul going against Liv Morgan because who does
mm,
Liv go against? With Stephanie's injured. That's why they had to shorten the match at Mania. All right, fine.
okay.
But who's next in line for the
Okay, so
women's
so we'll
title?
jump to Liv then, 'cause, you think Io's going for Becky and Soul's going for Liv, and
Even though they
I
set it
ki
up differently, I know they did the
I
Soul
kind of have it the
Snatcher,
other way
but
around. I kind of have it the other way around. With Liv as the current champion, Liv making her comeback at the Rumble and being the fucking superstar that she is like, what do I wanna say? Maybe she's below JC Jane now, but I think Liv was the Rhea Ripley in waiting as we talk about her being on the top of the tree.
yeah.
Lives right there as well. The fact that even if you don't like it, the fact that she did an entire live music video before she even had her match at WrestleMania was pretty fucking cool,
Oh,
and I
yeah, the
it's
MTV
an
VMA
extra thing,
award
right?
effect.
Yeah, it's
They
an
seem to
extra,
have
like,
taken
it's
away
an
Trouble as well. They're back to the Judgment Day theme now, so
yeah, it's a bummer. Well, no, Liv herself always used her own if she had a match, like,
yeah. But
WAP
they had the group theme the first night where they came out for the
mm,
celebration with all of them with the Trouble
mhm.
theme, it could have just been, "Hey, it's her celebration." I don't know. They're odd
Oh,
about
fair.
it, but It was just
Well,
funny
they're a
because
bunch of
they
obnoxious.
all online bitched about it, so how
I
bad
do
the
love
music
the
is.
picture from WrestleMania a couple years ago when Damian cashed in the Money in the Bank, and you had all of them, like the main members of the Judgment Day, standing on the ramp with all their belts. That was a pretty sweet sight to see. But now, basically, Judgment Day is a women's faction with like Dom and JD on the outside. I would love
Yeah,
to see.
exactly.
I think we've talked about it before, but before they break up, Liv, Roxanne, and Raquel taking on. Uh, we just mentioned them a second ago. Fatal Influence.
Yes.
I don't care that it's heel versus heel. Like, who can be the biggest group of bitches would be a
'Cause that
really
doesn't really matter much anymore. For certain stories, yes, but it's
yeah,
gotten less of a it has to be a face, it has to be a heel, because the fans are smart enough to know, like, who they wanna cheer for. They don't need to be told, like, "This is
yeah,
the
they
good
are.
guy, this is the bad guy." They get it in story, but I'm saying they're
Yeah, but
still able
sometimes it
to.
is fun just to have like a. I've always said like, give me peak Ric Flair versus peak Eddie Guerrero. You know,
Yes.
lie, cheat, and steal versus dirtiest player in the game. But that's a very specific kind of thing. And these two groups of people, and I'm sorry, and Raquel and Roxanne and Lainey Reed and Fallon Henley will all play their parts. But oh my god, JC Jane versus Liv Morgan leading two groups into battle as to like who can give like the bitchier scrap
Yeah,
would be so much fun.
absolutely. That's what I'm saying.
Anyway,
So, it doesn't help much for story, but
for Liv Morgan, who's going to be the one to take the title off of Liv Morgan? It depends on one thing. It depends on do they split the Judgment Day up or not. If they keep the Judgment Day
exactly.
together, I'm saying Io Sky. If they split the Judgment Day, I'm saying Roxanne Perez.
Okay.
Because
Alright.
sooner or later, the title story being Io Sky versus Roxanne Perez is a fantastic fucking match to have in your back pocket.
Oh, yeah, certainly. I don't know about them breaking up anybody at this point. The Judgment Day thing's been going on for so long, just like the Bloodline, just like, they really drag
Oh,
their
come on.
feet with some of it, so.
We got a little bit of a break with the Judgment Day.
Eh.
Or sorry, no, with the Bloodline, I should say.
Yes, yes, that we got a little bit of a reprieve from, with Roman disappearing and reappearing
I took all
continually.
these months off and nobody took my spot. I don't know, man. Like the Judgment Day is just there. Like it's why I'm okay with the Bloodline right now because the Bloodline are a unit and Roman does have the title, but they don't over encompass the whole show the way they did on SmackDown at the height. So I guess
Yeah.
we had that discussion last week as well, but it's why they're much more tenable to me at the moment because it's just Roman with some backup rather
Yeah.
than oh my god we've got all our tentacles in all the different stories and what. That's why I said I eliminated the Usos from the conversation about the tag titles because you don't want to get those tentacles wrapped around the
No,
belts.
with more belts, more power, more
But I think
and,
once you if we split up the Judgment Day and you pull completely away from the Judgment Day to get a one-on-one match, down the line, Roxanne Perez, Io Sky for that women's world title is money.
yes, indeed, the money and a half, and
And if
I
Liv migrates over to SmackDown just to fuck with Rhea Ripley some more.
would be funny. I mean, she kinda made it on her way out like a thing, being like, "I'm done with you, I
Oh,
moved on," but
like see
we're
you
never
soon.
truly done. Yeah, we're never truly
Her
done,
doing the
so
see you soon, her doing the see you soon to Rhea Ripley is right on par with sooner or later everybody needs a wise man.
absolutely.
Anyways, which, brings us nicely and neatly to the last title. And oh my God, if you guys are still listening at this point, and if you've been ignoring my squeaky chair the whole pod, thanks for hanging out with us. It's been a lot of fun. This has been an extra pod for you guys today. And
Get to
I'm going to say
dissect
it.
and enjoy over the weekend. Yeah, we got
Yeah,
our champion, Roman Reigns.
there's lots of options here. I'm going to say it nice and quick. There's only one option that's going to win. Eventually, Roman Reigns is dropping that. So apparently there was a cut there, but I'm going to go back to the obvious answer that I was giving like 30 seconds ago. The only person it's going to be is Ola.
It's gotta be Obafemi. That's my choice as well.
Like,
Makes
Jacob would have been
perfect
really
sense.
interesting. Jacob would have been really interesting, but I think even Jacob if Jacob had beat Roman at Backlash, it would have been to drop the title to Oba.
And Obafemi, I mean, he didn't need an immediate title challenge after Mania. People said, "Oh, he has to earn it by doing an open challenge." No, that was what he wanted to do. He suggested it. It was his idea. He was showing his dominance, and already no one wants to face him. It's hilarious.
which is awesome. I do
So,
like the fact that they featured Otis, because every couple of months or so, they give Otis a chance to just do something cool, and then he, like, quietly goes away again, and he's, like, comedy guy in the back, and then it's like, "Oh, does Jacob need an opponent? I'll get my ass kicked by Jacob. It sounds
yeah,
fun."
and it also is that
He's
every
big
time they
guy
need a
Miz.
feat of strength, Bianca
He's the
Belair's
big
gotta
guy
carry
Miz.
somebody, have her carry Otis. Gotta go ahead and have a tag match, throw around Otis. Like,
Flash legend, slammed around Otis.
exactly, see? Because he's a big guy, 300 plus pounds, and oh my god, look at the feat of strength that you have manhandling that smattering of meat that Mandy Rose could not take her hands off of somehow.
It would be if they weren't in AAA right now. We've had a lot of AAA conversation in this pod. If they weren't in AAA right now going for tag titles, I have to imagine that the next open challenge would have been like Ivar,
Yeah,
which
it
would have been
seemed
really fun as
like
well.
that's where they were headed.
Obafemi
So,
versus Ivar would be a lot.
against the War Raiders,
As a tag, oh no.
right?
You bury them as a tag team. That it's a little bit different than him like jacking and stacking Berto and Angel.
No, I know, but if he gets them one at a time and then they just keep tagging in
Yeah.
and getting their ass beat, could be
Oh, if
something.
he faces Eric one week and then Ivar in the next week and then says, "Okay,
Oh,
next week
no.
I'll pick for both of
Yeah,
you,"
yeah, the 3rd week he does a 2-on-1, yeah.
that's a bit much.
That's a bit
That's a
rough,
lot.
right? That's rough. Oh, but that's
Double
what I
choke
wanna
slam with
see.
Viking Raiders, yeah.
Ultimate domination from Obafemi. Bury 'em all.
Obafemi versus,
Bury 'em all.
who's the new guy? We just talked about him, Rosie O'Donnell of NXT.
Oh, Mason Rook, yes.
Mason Rook and Obafemi is gonna be a thing at some point. Everyone's
It
gonna be like, "What
is
the
too.
fuck?" And then we're gonna
I'm
see
telling you.
Oba do a shooting star press, and it's gonna be terrifying, and he won't break his neck like Brock did. But yeah, like, we're making all the jokes around here, but, like, it seems to be the only answer,
Yeah,
really, right?
it works though,
Like,
right?
it's clear that the guy just beat Brock, and how many times did Brock hand Roman his ass?
Too many. Far too many. Roman should have beaten him at 34, should have beaten him at, you know what I mean? Like, time and time
When
again,
he
they
chucked
had
the belt at Vince,
yes.
because that wasn't staged at all.
Ah, fuck you anyways.
Mhm.
Apparently, he was legit pissed, but I don't blame him. The crowd did hijack that
You
match.
gotta be in okay, I will stand up for Brock more than most people because I don't know that he did anything, and I'm not hopping on that train. But you gotta be in a pretty powerful position to be mad about winning the main event at WrestleMania.
Oh, yeah, he was just pissed that the fans, went
Yeah.
ahead and hijacked the match the way they did, so
It was the biggest WrestleMania temper tantrum on record until Sasha came along.
yeah,
Anyways, moving swiftly on. Yeah, there's nothing to say here. It's gonna be Oba.
it's gotta be Obafemi,
We just
absolutely.
booked like 25, 26 new champions, and we've taken a lot of time to do it. Again, I gotta say to people listening in the live chat right now, thank you very much. I've probably been chatting with you the whole time. I've kept Jake here way longer than I meant to. So, sir, tell them where to find you, tell them what you're up to, and we'll get
Yeah.
out of here.
You can watch us live on youtube.com/countdown ended. We go live after Raw, NXT, SmackDown. We covered the Ronda Rousey, Gina Carano fight, all 17 seconds of the main event, and so much more. So go ahead, check out the channel. Follow me on Twitter at Countdown Ended as well.
And it's been a lot of fun. Thanks for hopping in on one extra one this week. You guys know where to find me, or you wouldn't be here. I've been Spaz. This has been Jake. This has been, I don't know, a fuck ton of new champions that we think we might get in the next couple of weeks, months, years. Anyways, it's been fun. Thanks for joining us. Subscribe up there, talk down there, start a conversation, keep all these conversations going. Don't be a stranger. I'll talk to each and every last one of you later. But for right now, me and Super Sexy Jake, tagging out of here. Bye, guys.
Give me that title.